All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Juice is Loose podcast. 39 days,
Oh my
39 more
God.
days. We'll be playing the Switch. We'll be playing Zelda. So, yeah, this is gonna be the final part 3, I guess, for our Switch talk about the event, the Treehouse, and the stuff we know up to this point. Just wanted to give our final kind of wrap that up, and then we got some other topics to discuss. So since we got a lot to discuss and we got a full crew, I'll just run down. We got Meza T, we got Retro Death back for another podcast. Rob of Rule of Two, we got Robert Gaming with me, and we got Terrell, the Insane Game Freak, all back. So let's get in to this. And first, I gotta say, I want to apologize to all the gamers out there who are mad about Nintendo's online app, their smartphone app. I want to apologize for coming up with that idea a year and a half ago.
He totally did, buddy.
Look at what you did.
I didn't think voice chat. I was just thinking for messaging and game invites. Like, without a gamepad, I want to type messages quickly. It seemed like an obvious solution. I didn't think they'd go all in with voice chat and everything. So
I think there's more apologies in order. I heard you over on Levelheads podcast throwing shade at me and Rob for talking too much.
Yeah.
So,
Say what?
Hey,
So what is my apology?
This is news to me.
I was
you
just
talking
promoting the Juice is Loose. And I say,
But you were throwing a whole bunch of shade and shit.
if you like Meza T and Rule of Two, then it's the podcast for you because
so how about I just be on mute for the rest of this bitch?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna do it. Bye.
Watch your views plummet. No.
And what's up to the Active Gamer Life is in the chat. Side Kick Koopa, Triple J Zoo.
What's up, peeps?
Guys are always, you know,
Our
frequent
usual,
viewers.
man.
Retro Death would be there, except he's here. So
Yes, he would. Yes.
So he is here, but he's not here. Okay.
He broke through the plane.
all right. So I guess we're gonna start this way. I want to take the 12th event and the Treehouse, the interviews they did afterwards, trailers, and let's just take all that and let's talk about what we feel Nintendo got right. What did they do right from a game standpoint, from hardware, from getting the information out, and then of course we'll follow it up with where they missed the mark. So I kind of threw this on you. I didn't give you any prep on this, so if you can't, I guess I'll start. And I think the thing they got right for me was all-encompassing options, Joy-Cons, motion controls, also work as standard. They got the little IR in there. They got the HD rumble. They got stuff I didn't think they would do. I thought motion controls was going to be done forever. And I think they got that right. But also having the standard options, all that stuff, I think was a great decision. And then just the games that they got in the first year, I think they have a pretty good lineup of first party titles spread out for the first 10 months. And they got that part of it right. And the trailers were great. There were some really good trailers. Got some good views on YouTube.
You're just gonna take all this stuff, aren't you, Juice?
Those are-
Like, leave us something down.
It's the end of the podcast. Bye, guys.
That's two things. So that's what I think. If you got, let's go to Terrell since he talked. He
Okay.
spoke up.
Okay. Well, actually, it's pertaining to the games because the one thing I knew we were going to see games, and I knew we were going to see a good amount of first party. I was concerned about what kind of third party we were going to see, and the thing I'm happy about, and the thing they did right for me, is this showed Japanese third party because I wasn't I didn't go into the conference thinking I was going to get a whole bunch of Western third party like Battlefield and all that other crap. I was looking for the Japanese. So when I saw Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Super Bomberman, just Gaia, which threw me off. I wasn't expecting some of these titles. I like that that it looks like they approach people, and they didn't do the same thing they did with the Wii U, which was just go. Can you port like one or two games that you recently just made and put them out on our console? It doesn't matter if they're like a year or two late. I mean, we do have some late ports, and that's just kind of the name of the game with this generation. But it's nowhere near as like, oh, that just came out, and oh, that just came out. They spaced everything out, and as we're learning, we're still getting release dates and placements for everything. And then we got on the same year titles like NBA 2K 18 and Sonic Mania from what it looks like. So I like the approach of Japanese third party and the fact that we see more of that.
Cool. Yeah. So I didn't try to go on step on people's toes and take their ideas. So hopefully there's some other ideas like yours just there. So let's go to Retro Death. And this is from individual perspective. Obviously, this is for you. What did Nintendo do right for you with everything we know so far about the Switch?
I feel that what they've been doing really right is, well, I guess it comes down to marketing, the way they've been dripping out information. Like even before the event, we've had some trailers already and a couple of reveals, and then we had the event, and they focused on long term. They didn't just give us a launch window with some launch games. They focused on long term, give us some reveals, and just focus on games to come. I think that's the biggest thing they did right, because nobody wants to sit through another 2 hours of how we can watch TV on the Switch.
I do. No, I don't.
We ain't even got the app no more. Man.
All right. And Rob and Robert, obviously you guys can add, hands-on experience to because that was also a thing they chose to do, was let people play it, and they're, touring the country with like 5 stops. And so, I mean, if you want, you guys can throw some of that in there from your perspective. So why don't we go to Rob next? What do you think Nintendo got right with the...
Yeah, so I'm obviously a little bit biased because I did get invited to do that by Nintendo. And since I've actually played it, that's obviously going to be my favorite thing that they've done so far. But even if I was to look away from that, to me, the thing that I think they did the best, specifically on the 12th, is just how they demoed and showed the new things and the surprises about the system that we didn't know to expect. I mean, I could sing the praises of the Joy-Cons to the moon and back. I just love how they showed those off too. Was really impressive to me. I like the couple animated CG sort of videos that they had showing the new tech, the Joy-Cons, what it was like to take them on and off. And what is that? The guy's name who was doing that, Koizuma, or what is it? Did I say his name right? Does anyone remember?
Oh,
the guy demoing that stuff,
doing the magic tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that sounds right, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I think that's his name. So sorry, I don't know his name, but he was really great. And the way his whole little first 20 minutes or so, I was so excited about the Switch through that. And the way they wrapped up, of course, showing off the Zelda trailer, that stuff was great. And I feel like I've talked so much about what it was like to play the Switch and to try it in all the different formats and the controllers, and Zelda was so great. But I just really loved that first 20 minutes of that presentation and what the Switch has surprised us with from the hardware perspective. I think they killed that stuff for me.
Sweet. And I just want to say, hey to everybody in the chat. We got a lot of activity, some people I don't usually see. So guys, hopefully enjoy our discussion. For those that just got here, we're just giving our what we think Nintendo did right with the event, the Treehouse and stuff so far. And let's go next to Ms. T, back in his home finally. He's not in the bathroom this time, so
you know that.
Sorry, some microphone issues.
Yeah, there ain't shit else left to say because everybody done took everything. So. No, I guess I'll just piggyback a little bit with what Rob was saying. That basically introduction to the HD Rumble and the the motion capabilities of the Joy-Cons was my favorite part, because I was just smiling seeing that Nintendo did not give up on motion controls, even though everybody wanted them to, and they didn't give on it. They didn't give up on it in a way that I think still appeases everybody, because you're going to get the motion controls, but you're not going to be quote unquote forced into motion gaming because of the nature of the Switch, it being a handheld as well. So it has to cater to both markets. It has to cater to traditional controls first. So you're always going to have those, and you can decide if you want to motion game, which is what I'm going to do for sure a lot. Not on everything, but a lot of stuff. So very happy for that. Yeah, I mean, I thought the presentation was pretty solid. This is about what our favorite thing was, or what we thought they
just
did
what they
the
think
best.
they got right. Yeah.
I think for the most part they got the presentation and presenting the HD Rumble correctly. Like I know there's some people that just didn't follow the demonstration, and like I said, I thought it was perfectly set out. And I just people pick up things and learn stuff differently. That's just the nature of human beings. So I understand why some people didn't think it was necessary or all that stuff, but I thought it was perfectly set out, put together, because I could visually and almost physically feel what they were saying. Like I could feel the idea of HD Rumble. So I thought that was perfectly displayed. So
Just to build off what T said, I feel that it's true with the motion controls, because one thing I despise about the Wii is how many games forced me to use motion controls even though I didn't want to. And I feel that's exactly what they got right when they showed ARMS, for example, that they said, even though it feels like it's a 100% game built for motion controls, that they said and they show that you do not need motion controls to play it.
Yeah, I think that's a big distinction and what separates it from the Wii. And the Wii U with the gamepad is, like I said last week, and I don't know, I mean, it seems pretty obvious when I said it, but maybe people aren't realizing it. Because of the portable mode with the Joy-Cons attached, every developer is pretty much forced to make standard controls an option, unless it's like
That's
1-2 switch. I mean, there's going to be some just specifically for, the portable mode isn't going to work. And then you got, tabletop and TV mode for those few games. But I think the majority, 95% or more of the games, because of the portable mode, they're going to have standard controls as an option. So, and I hope developers do both. And I hope if Call of Duty comes, I hope it does both, because I know Red Knight, he'd love to know, hear that if they're coming with the next Call of Duty, that it still has motion controls. And I know other people that are like that. I couldn't get it with the Wii. I just never felt adequate with them, but I'd be excited for people if it's there. So let's go to Robert. What do you think Nintendo got right? And if it's stuff we already said, it's still, what are the things you feel they got right?
Okay, so I mean, what they got right was just the concept of the Switch. I've been wanting for years handheld console hybrid. I remember when I said I want the controller will be the handheld. And I remember I was like, no, that makes no sense. And it happened. It's here. We're here, about to get the console of my dream. I cannot wait. And I think that's the perfect thing, is that there's going to be one software lineup. I mean, we're going to get so many games over this generation from Nintendo. Like, it's going to be insane. Literally, it's going to be like a month. Like, so, I mean, just that alone, the one line of software that's the perfect idea world that we live in now, that the Switch will have a Nintendo game a month, basically, right?
Until, there's still some 3DS games coming to the 3DS. Like
some AK's dribbling down, but yeah, of course.
All right, so let's go to the flip side. We'll start with you, Robert, and we'll go in the reverse order. Where do you think Nintendo missed the mark on the event? And I guess if you think the Treehouse or any of those other things missed the mark, and I do want to remind people, I know this goes without saying, but just look at the updated games list for the Switch, and they've already added quite a bit more that wasn't there before. You got games we knew about, but they're on the list now, and it's filling up more. And some of them they're getting separated into different months now, and it's as the weeks go on, it's going to shape up even more and more. We're going to find out, there's a couple March titles that aren't coming at launch, and maybe those will end up at launch. So I think we're going to find out more. So with that in mind, now we know about it. Maybe a week ago, you might have said, we don't know much about the games coming. Well, I think we're going to find out more. But anyway, where do you think Nintendo missed the mark on their presentation, their event, and the info they got out?
There's not a lot of negative things I can think of in my mind. I'm not a negative man. I'm trying to think. I guess the only thing I could say is maybe like the online. They could maybe explain it more in the presentation itself. I guess that would be like the main thing, like the actual. Oh, it's a phone app. It's like, yeah, but what do you mean? That's it? Just a phone app? Okay. But I think if anything, that's the thing they should probably should have dived in a little bit more in the presentation. For me, that's what I think.
I think they want to like make that like a separate thing, kind of like they
Maybe,
did with the
yeah,
Wii
probably.
TV.
They kind of need to.
Focus on like the
Yeah.
online, because I think it's pretty robust.
Mhm.
You know what they're planning, so it could definitely be a 10 to 15-minute video if they want to do that. So
I think they're also giving time to kind of to dole that out like slowly, given the fact that a lot of the service isn't even going to be available day one anyway.
right.
Yeah,
Since
it won't be till fall.
we have until fall, like the end of the year, for it to be ready. Yeah, like you were saying, Robert. So I feel like
But
maybe
tell us-
that's probably
Tell us what's going to be ready day one. Like tell us, you
for
know.
sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
we need
curious.
to know. Yeah, if
This
we're
is
there's
not
gonna
gonna
that,
pay
be-
for
one
it,
is not that far off. So
And
yeah,
there's
they
going to
want
be
our
the
money for this.
there's
Go ahead.
online games at the launch, so we need
Right,
to
yeah.
know. I think it's going to work just like the Wii U works right now. I think that's
Mhm.
how it's going to work day one for the in Mario Kart 8 even, because that will be out before the app. So
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so what order?
will voice chat be out before the app?
I thought that was coming
I
in
don't
the
know about-
summer.
Because
Yeah,
if that's if it is,
Oh.
then we know it's not
It-
tethered to your phone. Which
Yeah.
is please let it be. Not
We'll have to
tethered
find
your
out.
phone.
So,
Yeah, that would be weird.
so Meza T,
please.
Meza T, is there anything? I mean, if you want to elaborate, on that, but anything else you think where they might have missed the mark?
I mean, little things like, I feel like this is really little, but that 1-2 switch introduction was just like kind of
Bizarre.
long and
Yeah,
bizarre.
that did not show what the game was like. That
No,
left me
like-
wondering.
I don't really know what else is in the game other than like the quick draw thing. Like I kind of, it's my fault a little bit because I kind of skimmed through the what do you call it, the treehouse stuff for it.
Mhm.
But it was because of the introduction to it is why I didn't pay that much attention to it during the treehouse stuff. So I think they could have delivered that a little bit better. And I just think I still think that should have been a pack-in. I know that because I've seen like promotional stuff where they're doing 1-2 switch. They're playing 1-2 switch like at a park on a bench or whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, yeah, it's not meant to be a portable game, but obviously you could still play it, away from your TV. So it still works as a quote unquote portable game in a way. So I wish that they would have included that as a pack-in.
Well, I understand why they didn't do that. I think they even commented on that because
Yeah, I mean, we
else
talked about it.
a lot
Yeah,
of
we
people are gonna pay for something they don't want. Because I think a lot of people, and me included, I'm not gonna buy that game. I doubt it. If I don't find it somewhere for $10 or something, I'm not gonna buy it. So why would I have to pay like, let's say, $30 extra on the Switch for a game I
And-
really don't want?
And it doesn't really cater to what the Switch is trying to do with
Exactly.
But it has stuff like HD Rumble, and it has.
It does, but it doesn't work in portable mode. It's more of a party game. Like
Yeah, to me, it doesn't represent.
I
the
think that
Switch
doesn't
well
represent.
enough.
It's just one little.
Well, I'm just saying that
possibility.
because I'm just saying it because of what Retro Death just said. Like, who's going to actually buy that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You
So who's next in? I think Rob. I think it was Rob.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. Did you do you have anything where you think they might have messed up or didn't quite
Yeah.
deliver?
I actually have quite a few, and like, granted, I mean, I liked the presentation a lot. I definitely walked away happy with it, and we all know how I was predicting it to be kind of a slower thing. We talked about that on the prediction podcast. It's definitely exactly what I expected it to be, but there were a couple of drawbacks, and a lot of them, like a lot of the more vocal people maybe on the internet have talked about a little bit. I definitely wish that considering they chose to include a section where they talk to third-party developers and have them on stage, I think that whole thing could have been handled better, more than just the wacky translation. Like, that was obviously a huge drawback, and that really impacted people's perception. And I also feel like they maybe should have had them showing off a couple of even some screen images of the games they were working on or something. Like, just having them talking, it doesn't do a lot to excite or instill confidence. It was very strangely handled. I'm glad they were there. Suda being on stage and saying Travis Touchdown's name out loud had me geeking out. So like, that was so great. But I think the third party thing was jumbled. I almost wish they either did it better or didn't have them at all.
Or
even
just had-
Suda was kind of cryptic. Like it was just like,
Yeah,
I
Well,
want to be excited, but it's a little bit off. Like he's not exactly saying what I want him to say, which is
No More Heroes
No
3.
More Heroes 3. Please
Yeah,
just say
those
that.
words, damn it.
But that's
But-
also because Suda was saying a whole bunch of other shit that really he shouldn't have been saying during the presentation.
Yeah, but
Going off
that's
script a little
okay.
bit.
We're still going to be happy. I was still very happy with that. And the other thing is, I kind of want to build off what you were saying, T, but sort of go in a different direction. I feel like how 1-2 Switch was a bungled sort of moment, to me, was actually a little bit more important than maybe you felt it was. I think that making that the first game that they showed, the first software officially running on the Switch that was not Zelda, that the world ever saw, was 1-2 Switch. And like, that is not what we were waiting to see. That was not the first thing you know what I'm saying?
I think it was good to get it out of the way, though.
Yeah, I didn't mind the timing of it.
The fact that it's first means it wasn't as big of a deal.
But this is
that
Rob.
trailer was just
I
not
would
good.
argue that if it was near the end of like new games they showed us, it would have been received better. Like, I really truly think that. And I'm someone who's even played it and feels like, hey, this game actually works and seems like it's a lot of fun. But when you look at it from the presentation standpoint, and like I said, the first non-Zelda game we ever saw was 1-2 Switch. Like, I just feel like it didn't give the world the right message. And I think that maybe the people who are down on the Switch and down on the presentation, potentially, it's just guessing out loud, potentially might have felt stronger about it if the first thing they showed was something different. Like, so even though I'm not super down on 1-2 Switch, I think that was a big mistake too. So how they showed software live on that stage was unfortunately, I think, not handled greatest. But I still liked it, obviously. So.
I can agree with that. In hindsight, I think you're probably right about the 1-2 Switch being first was a little bit.
It's too bad because I really think that that people would enjoy it if they tried it, but they haven't. They just kind of made people have to look at it as a bad thing as opposed to a good thing. So it's too bad.
All right, Retro Death. What about you?
Well, I have 3 points. 2 have basically been talked about already. The first is obviously as well the fact that they started out with 1-2 Switch, and not just that per se, but the fact that they wanted with the Switch distance itself from the Wii and the Wii U, but they started out with basically a 100% motion controlled game. That was my main issue with that, and they focused a long time on that game. The other thing is that, and this was my first thought after the presentation, that they didn't focus enough on third party, I feel. Like, you got 2 quick mashups somehow, and I feel they could have added more to it, especially considering by now almost every day people are still revealing their games. They could have spent more attention, like somebody said before, like talk to some developers or something like that. The final thing is for me, which is just something really personal, I guess, because I said it last week. One of my favorite things about Nintendo is the Treehouse. I love watching the Treehouse, but I feel for the first time we had a Treehouse where they just played basically what we have seen in the event, without actually, again, going into like some indie games or stuff like that, showing us new stuff in the Treehouse.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I think the Treehouse showed us 1-2 Switch, like, for real, like, because I had no idea what that game was. And then ARMS, I think they really helped. I think ARMS was a big benefit.
I would also say
Snipper clips. I was going to
Snipper clips too.
Yeah,
Snipper clips. I was sold after the Treehouse.
I didn't know anything about that game until it showed up.
All of those games should be day one purchases, even ARMS. Like, and I know Robert, you can attest how really fun freaking ARMS is. Like, it didn't look like it on stage in Tokyo, but that game is like really freaking fun, really good.
It's got a lot of strategic elements to it because you could pick each arm, each hand almost, and then like depends on the degree of your actual Joy-Con and how it turns. Like there's a lot of strategy to it. It's incredible.
And it works too. So
didn't it feel like though at the event they didn't show any like, all right, here's the game and here's how it works. They didn't show that at all.
It was real.
No, they literally just went from like, this is how the game works, and then they just went into a match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't think that with their audience they had, they weren't cheering. Like those people it's business.
Dude, it's Japanese.
Japanese don't freak out like that.
Yeah, I don't think they were going to cheer anyway.
They were not going to cheer regardless. That's just culturally.
I think I heard some cheering for the release date and price.
Yeah.
Did they? I don't know.
All things that I predicted and tried to warn people, man. Like, don't look for E3. That's not how they do it.
That was not going to be E3.
So,
I don't know. That was E3 to me. You don't think that was E3 Splatoon 2, Mario Odyssey?
But the way it was presented,
there was elements of E3, but it wasn't going to be an overall E3 event.
Right.
The production of it is what's different. That's what it is. Like the games are great, the system's great, but the production was like, "Hi, this is what we're doing. I hope you like Nintendo and invest in us. Goodbye." Like that's
I guess
Right.
I don't know, man. The lights, the music, the
beginning.
montage.
It was magical, Robert. What?
It was incredible.
Yeah.
I thought I was in a different world.
Now,
Oh
and-
my
Dude,
God.
wait till they do another good E3 again, then you'll feel like in a different world, man. But that's okay. I don't want to poop on your hype and all, but
all right.
Anyways,
All right, Terrell, what do you think Nintendo messed up for you? For you personally.
I got two things. The first thing is I'm surprised no one mentioned it. The lack of any type of virtual console mentioning at all.
Sure.
Like
that's
the
true.
only virtual console we got mentioned about was the free SNES or NES game with the online service. And to me, it's like that to me because let's be real here. With this whole rumors about the GameCube virtual console and what games are supposed to be in there, you could have generated a lot of positivity purely by just mentioning we have virtual consoles here. We have GameCube games, Mario Sunshine, Smash Brothers Melee. Like literally, you could have mentioned those two games, and that would have been enough to propel it even further. So I thought that was a misstep because that was an easy way to generate positivity, and it felt like a missed opportunity. The second thing is, I honestly, in hindsight, I kind of wish that whole experience was a direct instead of a live presentation. I know people wanted the live presentation, but that event almost, especially the translator sections, almost completely outlined why I like my directs, especially because like you remember 2014's E3 when they were doing directs with like Yoshi Woolly World's director while the game footage was playing in the background.
Yeah.
That worked so much better than Suda 51 coming out there and screaming yeah and not getting any type of response.
yeah, boy.
Yeah, because
He thought he was at E3.
Yeah.
because then the audience becomes a part of the direct when you're like, it's like how we noticed how there wasn't really any cheering or clapping. You're like,
Yeah.
see, if it was like a direct video, I wouldn't even have noticed any of that. So I kind of wish. Also, I think certain trailers would went off better because it wouldn't have felt like, man, you spent 30 minutes on this trailer. It could have been literally you showed it off, did maybe some really basics on how the game is, and then moved to the next one. So I don't know. In the way they still showed off the games, they still went from like trailer to trailer to trailer anyway. So I was like, man, I'd rather just had a direct. So those are my two things.
If you're on
Right.
stage and like you're on a stage and you're in front of a crowd, you're kind of waiting for applause moments.
Yeah.
And if they don't come, if you didn't do what Microsoft did, which is buy audience members, then you're gonna be in trouble, that kind of stuff. And that wasn't an E3 event.
But
Especially
see,
when
the
the
problem
rest
with
of-
that one was though is that they didn't buy enough. So you had these weird sections of the crowd going, woo!
Yeah.
And like the rest of the crowd are like, I don't understand
Well,
what
and
you're talking
that's the thing. Like when the rest of the world, and especially a lot of us in the West, and I don't know Retro what it's like, in the UK where you are, but like for a lot of the world, we are looking for those moments, and we don't understand that where they presented it, they don't do that stuff. So it's
Right.
just as much respectful for them to be quiet as here. It's respectful for people to lose their shit and jump out of their chairs and start fighting over how excited they are.
Yeah.
It's more similar to you guys, seriously.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess I was just gonna like throw a blanket statement about lack of specific information, especially like the online stuff, the this system memory, how that's gonna work. I mean, they told us about the SD cards, but are the games gonna play off the SD cards? Just a complete, some lack of detailed information. When they could have just solved that in the event by saying, hey, the online, more details to follow. We're still working everything out. Launch lineup, still, getting stuff sorted out. Nothing's final, just reassuring people, because instead they just see, oh, there's only like 4 games here. Oh, the launch lineup's terrible. Well, they've already added a couple more, and we'll probably see more even because, people are stupid. So you need to really tell them, hey,
True statement.
It's true.
and even like the size of the cartridge, because, available, because we already heard from one developer who's laughed at the thought of putting his game on the system because it won't fit, and it's like there's just some questions there, and so that in the setting it was in, I could see them not going into detail, but just tell us, hey, we're still getting this stuff figured out. We're still, details further to come. Reggie had to say that in interviews instead of.
Yeah. But that guy, you're talking about the Red Respawn guy?
Yeah, the Titanfall 2.
He had, that was old news, apparently. That was in like October.
Yeah,
oh, was
it? It was when the trailer first came out.
It was when the trailer first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he had zero knowledge of. He has just as much knowledge about the Switch as we do. So he didn't know. He was talking about, the game fitting on the cartridge.
It was a blind assumption, and they were all drunk.
Yeah,
but it probably won't fit on a cartridge unless they add. I mean, it have to be. We'll talk about that later.
Look at the N64. There are different size carts.
But it costs.
Obviously, I was getting to that. It costs more for certain things, and is that going to bear out in the price of the game?
Mm-hmm. So anyway, the other thing, like you said, the 1-2 switch, like they did not. I don't mind them start with motion controls because for a lot of people, there's a lot of people that get it out of the way and then move on. I think is probably because the last thing you see is what you remember. So the last thing they show was Zelda. If they would have thrown that in the middle, I think they would have brought it down. But I was excited as one of the people who I do like the option for a lot of games to have motion controls. So I thought it was good. But the 1-2 switch was just a bunch of actors, and I had no idea. Is it a game? They say you're looking at it. I don't understand.
Dude, I jumped out of my couch because everyone laughed at me when I said Red Dead Redemption, and I was like, I was right. First game on the show. What is this garbage? Totally changed at 180 so fast. I sat right back down.
As a gamer, I want to know what happens after you draw. He knows how. So then we found it in the treehouse. It determined the angle. We'll call it the gun.
Yeah.
So if it's pointing at the ground or pointing too high, that revolves around not just the speed of it. And so it knows exactly when you press the button where it's pointing. I mean, there's some pretty cool stuff there. And the Treehouse did a way better job of, and maybe that's not something they could do in front of a Japanese audience or something. But it just, to me, it was a tough one. And ARMS, they didn't really, a lot of people were scratching their heads until they saw the Treehouse stuff. So the actual event didn't really do much for ARMS in that regard. But everything else, the third party stuff, I agree with Rob. They should have had just pre-recorded stuff with built-in translation and game footage. Show us Sonic Mania, show us, even though we've already seen it, show a new area or something. Get with Sega, get some new footage.
As we've seen, actually, that's what pissed me off about Sega, because the dude from Sega came up there, and then Sonic Mania was announced the next day, and you were like, well, why didn't you say that at the damn conference? You were already there.
Well, yeah.
I think they just do those things in such a different way that they probably felt that wasn't important. Even though we all want that stuff, they just don't get it.
That one was just confusing. That was just confusing because you got Suda talking about No More Heroes. You had Ian come up there about FIFA, and Sega just walks up and goes, "We're making games." Bye. And you're like, well, what the fuck? You're like, come on.
It makes me realize, and Terrell, you were the one who really had the cool idea of opening with the montage, the way a lot of E3 presentations happen. And they even had in the middle that pretty cool 1.5-minute montage video. Mm-hmm. If that was the first thing that happened before Kimishima walked on stage, I think that also would have helped. Because we would have seen a broad swath of games. There's Ubisoft games in there and Bethesda games in that thing. Even if they didn't talk about most of them, if that was the first thing everyone saw, it's like, oh, look at all those games.
Wait, but did you see? Technically, they had. I mean, it got me hyped when they kept having the switches go. They did a little montage of that.
You're talking about when the thing started.
Yeah, the very beginning. That's technically a montage, right?
Yeah, they had Mario Kart. They showed Mario Kart Zelda.
It went.
Well, yeah, the reason why we want the montage they did in the middle at the beginning is because it spoils all the game.
It does. It shows all the games that they're.
I mean, Mario. And to be fair, Mario was in there, and they hadn't showed off the Mario.
I'm about to say, people would have been in tears.
Showed the Mario. They did show the Mario during the actual reveal trailer of the Switch, right? So technically, they could have done that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
but
not to that extent though. That's what I'm saying.
But I think the moment was better when they just showed the Mario trailer and you were like, oh, what is this weird city? And then Mario came out of nowhere. That surprise was really pretty worth it, I think.
Yeah. I knew it was Mario though. I said once I saw the manhole, I was like, it's Mario? That's what I said.
See, I thought you were gonna say it was the rabbits. Be like, oh my god, it's the
that'd be awesome. Rabbits.
Oh, you mean that game that doesn't exist? Yeah.
Oh man,
Hashtag wait until E3. Hashtag
I don't
wait
believe
until
it.
E3.
Let's say if
You don't
E3
think so?
comes out and that game doesn't get announced, who's the one that leaked that? Who are the people
I
that leaked
think it
that?
was
Because
Laura K. Dale.
they are-
Yeah, Laura.
They
The
should
people
all
who
come
need to be
out
held
and
accountable.
apologize and, take their lumps.
And I don't want to hear. I know OJ's listening. I don't want to hear you say reliable source. If whoever leaked
Ever again.
whoever leaked the rabbits thing, and if that doesn't come out, I mean, it could be an E3 announcement. So I mean, there's still time.
It could be. I
I'm just
totally
saying.
agree.
But the female Zelda is not going to be an E3 announcement.
No.
Is it going to release? It's only going to release
It's
in
coming-
North America. No, it's going to release in
June.
Europe and North America, not Japan. Like all that nonsense. They covered the behinds.
You gotta
Like,
love that.
They got to
when-
be called out for that. They have to be responsible for that.
When the presentation was over, I think one of the first tweets that came out of it was like, "Well, at least I was right about the price," or some shit like that.
Wow.
I thought 250 was the price. I mean, but
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, technically
100,
250.
100 million people guessed 299 and 100 million people guessed 250. Like everyone knew it was going to be
Yeah.
one of those two.
yeah.
So I
And
don't
it's-
think like some
it is
great
crazy
insight.
how mad people are about the 299.
Well, you just said it right
Which
there.
is
Yes.
ridiculous.
Fine.
Yes. There's no source.
People are so mad
These are
about
guesses.
299. It's insane. I don't even understand that.
I will say when it comes to the rabbits thing, I'm gonna take another leap on this one. And first of all, I'm joking. Like I don't believe in that game, but I also kind of want it to be real. So if it happens,
Me
that's
too.
great. I don't mind if I'm wrong.
It was
I know.
so-
I
Robert
want it to be
really
real
wants
because Rob is gonna post a reaction and it's gonna be God.
I want it
gonna
to
be
be because it's so bonkers. It's like,
But there's another game that I also agree if it doesn't show up at E3
Oh
this
yeah.
year, it
Beyond
was a
Good
big.
Evil.
You got it, Beyond Good and Evil, man. Quit
Well, no,
teasing
but
me with
didn't
that
technically
bullshit.
he himself have like upload stuff? So isn't that
Michelle
kind of?
Ansel?
Well, what
Yeah.
about the exclusive, timed exclusive? That was like the big.
Oh,
thing.
that stuff maybe not, but he did.
Well, we'll
he
see
posted
on that one.
renders of himself.
I mean, everyone said that at the Tokyo thing, both Rabbids and Beyond Good and Evil was
Yeah.
like the last trailer that was supposed to show up at the Tokyo thing was Beyond Good and Evil. That was a big rumor.
Mhm.
Everyone said, "Oh, it's gonna happen."
Oh, you didn't see that, man? I closed my eyes and I saw.
Oh
it.
man.
And apparently, Laura Kate Dale predicted the HD Rumble, but that's.
And I mean,
first
that's
I've heard of
fine.
it.
I don't really care about the individuals.
Yeah,
like
let's move
whoever.
forward.
But I just
At
wanted
the end
to
of the
throw
day,
Beyond Good and
you
Evil
win
into
some, you
that.
lose some. That's all I say.
I just saying
Yeah.
if those two games never get announced and aren't coming to Switch, then we got to remember because that's pretty big.
I
Hashtag
care
we
about the
gotta remember.
individuals. I care about the individuals because they're making me care about the individuals. They're giving these people, credibility and credence. And when they're
It's
wrong,
true.
they
You're
need
very-
they need to take their lumps for it.
You're right. That is a good point. That is a good
All right,
point.
so,
I just really want Beyond Good and Evil, and I'm mad that
Oh, I totally-
I don't
I
know
want
that
rabbits. Where are my rabbits?
But we know Beyond Good and Evil is a thing. It's not like we
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, it's a game for sure, and
It's gotta be.
it's about
Well, because
We just don't know if it's going to be on the Switch. That's
it's got to be. It's got to be on Switch.
And honestly, I think it'll be better to hold that for E3 because that game's not coming out this year anyway.
For
I
reals.
agree. I agree. But I just am so nervous to believe in that game. That's just really what it comes down to. So anyway,
Let's go down the line. Who has pre-ordered their Switch, and what games are you either getting day one or you're for sure getting that we know about? So let's just go start with Meza T and pre-ordered. If you pre-ordered the system, if you pre-ordered any games, and then what games for sure at this point you're going to buy for the Switch that we know about.
I did pre-order the system. Well, technically, my good buddy Robert of Gaming With Me pre-ordered it for me because I was
problem, no
out of the
problem.
country, and really appreciated that because they're gone now. And hopefully, people will be able to get they'll be able to get more in. But I don't usually pre-order games. I only pre-order games when there's like an incentive to, like there's a special edition, and so I've been trying to catch. Hopefully, I will catch a master edition of Zelda Breath of the Wild. At this point,
I think you missed the boat.
I was saying, that's a good one.
and I might have to pay a scalper. I'm sorry. 'Cause I really
Hey,
want
man,
that
chill out, man.
edition.
Don't do that.
I can't. I have to have that one. So, yeah, Breath of the Wild, obviously. I'm actually giving away stuff that I recorded for my video, so this is an exclusive. Breath of the Wild, Bomberman, Super Bomberman are faux show. I'll be able to get that for $40, and now that they dropped it to 50, thanks to Amazon Prime. And wait for it. Snipper clips.
Yeah.
Wonder why? Because you have a wife to play it with and children.
I'm totally getting that game, taking it to work, and here's a Joy-Con. Let's play it.
Yeah.
Oh, Judas, don't do that,
Hold on a
guy.
second, Miss
You'll
T. I
be
gotta
doing
ask
the
you how.
commercial.
Can you already pre-order it on Amazon or something?
No,
What?
just
What?
what I asked him what he knows for sure he's getting.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
pre-order.
Yeah.
True,
What I know for sure.
Yeah. True. Never mind. No, I'll take that back.
Yeah, and yeah, Snipper Clips is a perfect game to like promote the. I almost said Wii U. Look, promote the Switch or Wii U, because it's just so unique and it's inclusive as hell, and it's just like I think it's a game that get the not gamers really excited about the Switch. So
Yeah, no.
anybody can pick that up, I think, and it'd be cool for them. So
Let's limit this to before E3, the games we know coming before E3, because
Right.
obviously you could name 10 games for the year.
yeah, I was actually just the launch game. So
Yeah, launch window up until I would say ARMS would probably be the last one we know about coming out before E3. So
no
all
brainer.
right, Retro Death. I know you said I think you said you don't really worry about pre-ordering before, so I'm curious if you have or have not.
Usually my consoles, I do always pre-order them for sure, especially considering how after 10 minutes in America there was nothing left, so that kind of got me freaked out. So I went to my store, but I was okay. I pre-ordered the system, and I pre-ordered Zelda because, like the only games I always pre-order are limited editions instantly. I hunt them down every minute. I refresh every site I can find, because even here, limited editions are always gone really quickly. Apart from that, I'm glad you said launch window, because I had like 20 games or something on my list that were a sure buy. I have ARMS for sure, definitely. I'm so looking forward to that game so much. Then there's Bomberman R, because Bomberman is something I've played ever since I was 4 years old with my brothers, so I have to buy that. Splatoon 2, if that still counts as launch window, I'm not
That's
sure.
hitting after, I believe the late summer.
Yeah, okay. Well, and then the final game that is definitely still launch window, with nobody of you guys is going to give a shit about, is Skylanders Imaginators. Because I bought it on Wii U, and I have no idea how they did it, but it feels to me like the Skylanders on Wii U looks worse than the Skylanders on the Wii. I don't know who programmed that, so I have to get it on the Switch.
Well, the year before it looked pretty good on the Wii U.
I don't know why. Yeah, this new one that was just released a couple of months ago. It's seriously, and I'm not about graphics, but I feel like how you have when somebody is emulating a game and they zoom in on the pixels and you see like all these pixels missing each other when the characters move. That's what this game looks like on Wii U.
Well, I'm sure they didn't put a lot of money into the a dead system with their last game.
Honestly, I think so, because it's one of the last games that got released on it, basically. Honestly, that is what I feel. And I've seen footage of the Switch one, and it looks gorgeous. So that is day one for me as well.
Sweet. So how about you, Rob? I guess, what are you getting for sure before, pre-ordered? I know you pre-ordered the system. I think you already said that a bunch of times. But which games are on your must-have list, I guess, up until E3?
Yeah, so I did get mine pre-ordered because my work buddy hooked me up while I was flying out to New York. So very thankful for that. He's my hero. And obviously I'm getting Zelda. I'm also for sure picking up Bomberman, because that game is a damn blast, pun intended. And Snipper Clips for sure, just like you said, T. It's so goddamn fun. Oh my god, I can't wait. For $20, I mean, come on, everyone should buy that game.
I'm so happy that everybody's getting Bomberman. That is awesome.
Yeah, really. I mean, it seems like a lot of people are getting into it. You're totally right, and it's going to be a blast because we can play it online too. I guess it's going to be so fun. And I'm excited to pick up Fast Remix, because I never played Fast Racing Neo, and it seems like we talked to the guy in New York, and it sounds like there's a lot of the stuff from the first game and a lot of new stuff in it too. He was really into that, so it seems like a pseudo sequel, but not a sequel. I don't really know, but I'm excited to pick up that and ARMS. For sure. So I'm definitely going to grab ARMS first. I think that's in April, right? I don't know. But,
yeah.
Well, it's spring. We don't know
it's saying spring, but it could be May. It could be the May title.
I'm afraid. I'm not sure. For me, ARMS is going to be a launch title. I'm not sure, because when I went to the store today, They showed like 6 games or something. They showed Mario like for the end of the year, and they showed Splatoon, and they showed 3 games, Zelda, something, and ARMS without a date, and implying that it's going to be a launch title for me, maybe.
Interesting. That would be.
No,
I'd be very
that'd be
jealous.
crazy.
of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be May. I think they're going to throw it in that Mario Kart 8 slot of May that they with Splatoon. You know, they like that end of May spot. That's my prediction. But anyway, Robert, what are your for sure buys? And obviously, again, we all knew that you pre-ordered because we've been talking for 2 straight podcasts about this. So, so what are the games for sure you're getting?
Okay, so I'm for sure getting a Switch first because I gotta get that.
And any color? Anybody get the colored Joy-Con?
Nope, I didn't. I got my regular gray.
Okay.
And then I got the Zelda Breath of the Wild Special Edition. They did not have the Masters Edition. He said, this is what he told me at GameStop. He said, "Oh, we'll get it later." And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they have it later. But he just lied to me probably because they probably don't, or not.
They haven't got it yet. They haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, so if they do have it, I'll switch my pre-order to the Master Edition. But regardless, I got the Special Edition because, like, come on, that soundtrack, oh my God, is going to be amazing. And then, of course, ARMS. I got to pick up ARMS. And Snipper Clips, oh my God. Snipper Clips is fantastic, and everyone should pick it up. It's a ton of damn fun. Then I will be doing what Active Gamer Life is doing. I'm going to probably trade in my Mario Kart 8 to get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's what I'm going to do. And then also Rhyme. Rhyme comes out pretty damn early into the life. May. Yeah, May. There you go. So I'm going to pick up Rhyme.
I'm with you on that one too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Rhyme looks good. And then also this other one that I'll probably get Fast Racing Remix, but also they also have this other one called Red Out. And Red Out actually looks pretty damn good.
That looks cool too.
And that one is a retail release. So that's awesome. I definitely want to pick that up just for the fact that it's a retail release. And then also, of course, Splatoon 2. I can't wait. Oh my God. I can't wait.
That's probably after E3.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if that August 18th that retail.
Oh God,
I'd be in tears, dude. I'd be in tears.
I wouldn't be shocked because I think
it's gonna be July, August. Yeah,
I would think it'd be June. God.
I would think
they're gonna
July, but
they gotta spend some time. I mean, it hasn't even been 2 years.
For me, it says July in my store for Splatoon.
Where is
What
it?
does it say?
July for me, a confirmed date at least.
That was my exact guess. Was July.
I would think June or July, and I hope it's June or July because come on.
I think they want to space out the big games though a little bit, you know.
Well, yeah, but it already is. Think about March, and then you got Splatoon, and then you got Mario. That's
but
huge.
you got ARMS in April, right?
Yeah, Mario.
We don't know if it's going to be
huge.
huge.
A big game or not.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah, Mario Kart Deluxe will still be huge. Yeah,
I
that's
think
definitely
Nintendo is going to really push ARMS though.
I
It's their
hope
new
they
IP.
do.
They're going to push it hard.
I hope
I
they
think
have
you
a single
should
player and stuff.
Just
We'll see.
put your expectations for Splatoon 2 out to late July or August, and
think?
that way, if it's sooner, you'll be.
I agree.
Right.
So, all right, Terrell. I was shocked you pre-ordered the Switch. So, what games are you for sure you're getting at this point?
Well, today I pre-ordered Bomberman because, and I was my thought process was going to go digital with the system. I know that sounds ridiculous for a Nintendo console, but that's what I was debating it. But I get the borderline $10 off from Amazon Prime, so I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and get the physical version. So I'm getting that. Probably Zelda. I don't really care. I say probably because I don't really care about getting a Master Edition or a Special Edition. If anything, I might just download that game when it comes out.
I'm just curious. Why not just save the $10 and get the physical version? Use your Amazon Prime.
I'm gonna pick and choose which games. I don't really mind. I don't mind spending $60 on Zelda. Whereas,
And then you're gonna use up, probably more than half the internal storage. But if I guess
I'm aware of what I'm doing. So the micro SD card will probably be bought within the next few weeks.
I would wait to buy that until you hear that games will run just fine off it.
Yeah,
just saying.
Yeah, well, that's why it hasn't been bought yet.
Yeah.
But
all right, so I'm getting bugged by a special request from a special guest. He wants to tell everyone what he wants for the Nintendo Switch to go ahead.
Just interrupted me all this time.
Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Say again?
Yeah.
Zelda Breath of the Wild.
He wants
That's
Zelda
it?
Breath of the Wild.
You an OG, my dude.
That's it? Anything else you saw that you like?
That's
Just Zelda. That's it.
Hey, listen, that's okay.
Oh,
that's okay because-
Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2. Good choices, kid.
Is he forcing his Nintendo love onto his child?
Look at this Nintendo faggotry.
Nintendo indoctrination.
See, I'll say this. I'll say this. In all reality, like for the whole thing of March and April until ARMS, and even when I get ARMS and Mario Kart 8, the very likely thing is I'm gonna be still playing Breath of the Wild for a long.
Well,
ass
isn't
time.
that kind of
Yeah.
implied at this point?
Yeah. So it's like I don't really want to buy any other game but Zelda day one. So
Anywho, I'm gonna
All right, so
go ahead and finish my
Terrell,
list.
yeah, Terrell finishers.
So yeah, Zelda, Bomberman, ARMS. I'm debating. I'm leaning towards getting Binding of Isaac Afterbirth because the one on Wii U with that whole glitch where it kind of froze up your system and thing, they never fixed it. I was like, plus that I can get it for $30, so I'm on Amazon, so that'll probably be another one.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Well, because it's like $39.99, and then the Prime it'll knock it down to about $30. So
That's true. That's true.
What game?
I'll do that too.
The Binding of Isaac.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's like plus Afterbirth too, because like two games or something.
Mhm.
And the other, and it's most of the other stuff you guys mentioned, like Splatoon 2 and that kind of stuff. The only game that y'all didn't mention that is coming out, and I'm a little mad at myself about, and I'll explain in a second, is Sonic Mania, which as of right now has a release date of May 31st on Amazon. Whether that's
true.
actually, but here's the thing that pisses me off. I found out that Sega put out the collector's edition for the Switch version, and then I didn't fucking pre-order it in time. So now I'm just looking on it. It's like, it's currently unavailable. Ooh.
Oh man.
And I'm like, I want the collector's edition.
See, I forgot about that. That's a game I definitely want. And I also forgot about Ultra Street Fighter, which I also want.
Yeah.
When the hell is that coming out? Though?
I think it's launch window.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure.
I do want Sonic Mania also. Yeah, that's another.
I got the collector's edition for Xbox One, so I get the little statue and all that cool stuff that comes with it. I'm probably just gonna like give away the code or whatever for the game, and then buy the Switch version.
Sweet. Yeah, you got to play that on a Switch.
I want to play it on the Switch. I want that statue though, man.
Because my Xbox One is dead anyway. It's dead.
I might have to just supplement it and buy like the PC version, and then like just double dip on it because I want that statue. Damn it,
it's so cool.
Yeah.
I wonder what the view totals for the Switch trailer Sonic Mania are now versus the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, this is where you can tell where the Sega fandom lies at. We don't hang in Sonyville when it comes to Sonic. We hang in Nintendo land, apparently.
Oh, and hey, by the way, should we not expect Ukulele at some point?
Oh, Ukulele.
Well, they haven't
Damn it,
updated.
Rob. That was, that was going to be my, like, hey, guys, you forgot one. Like,
no, you know what?
We're going to learn today.
Anywhere, that's why. I will, however, be getting that for sure. 100%.
How could I know? It was a secret. How could I know?
We need to get through this part. Was only supposed to take 5 minutes total, and each person was taking 5 minutes.
I'm good. I'm done.
All right, so mine is obviously Zelda, no question about it. And then Snipper Clips and Fast. Is it Fast Racing RMX or just Fast RMX?
It's just
probably
Fast
Fast
Remix.
Remix.
So remix.
Yeah.
Is that going to be digital only?
Yeah.
Yes. We asked the developer that. I was really big into like, what's the deal? And he said, for now, it's he's like, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, let's get through this. The only thing that'll change my mind, I have to find out some more details. But if you guys say they're mixing the Wii game and the Wii U game and together, the best tracks from both, then definitely, unless that changes, that's.
So that's what it is. I thought it was just a port of.
No, there's a bunch of new stuff in it.
Oh, that's
great.
what
the remix part's about.
Oh so, wow! Okay.
At this point, plan on getting Rhyme unless something happens. Shovel Knight? No, just kidding.
Which is funny because we're getting it first. That's the truth.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, let's quit getting off topic.
Sorry.
ARMS, 100% ARMS, and I think that's the only ones that are confirmed coming before E3. There's a few that are like, and Ukulele, if that comes out with day and date, or at least within the same, month time period or something, that could potentially become like after
delayed.
summer. a fall game or
well,
something.
I was
If it
going to
does
say
come out day
because
and date, that proves how easy the Switch is to develop for.
Yeah,
That's true.
I'm surprised that
Because-
Tantalus is the one porting Sonic Mania. It doesn't seem like that would need
I think that might be a time constraint thing.
Yeah.
crazy. And
Just to make sure it launches the same time.
so, yeah, is there any third parties in? I mean, other than indies. I mean, I'm not looking at Steep. I'm not
right.
looking at.
See, those are all for later in the year because there's quite a few third. Like I missed Steep and Dragon Ball Xenoverse and Skyrim Master
These ones
Edition.
don't
Oh
have.
yeah,
a,
because I got like Disgaea 5 on my list and Dragon
Disgaea,
Quest.
yeah, those are all third-party games I'm picking up for
Yeah.
sure. But
I'm
Yeah, I'm
bummed
getting
to
them.
be mentioned in this little section here.
Yeah,
so it's all good.
the entire little chart that was out.
yeah,
That's-
we don't
that's what
know.
it is.
Those could be put in before or after E3. So I guess
We'll see.
not knowing. But yeah, if Ukulele makes it out, I'm pretty convinced that that's gonna be a good game. So, all right, let's just finish up the Switch talk before moving on to some other things. With
What else is there?
well,
Just kidding.
what we're gonna talk, yeah. And this could kind of, I mean, this isn't related to the event. This isn't related to the Treehouse. This is just the Switch itself, Nintendo's approach to the Switch, and the games. What are you most excited about? What is the Switch? What, everything we know. What are you most excited to experience? So it could be in the smallest little thing. It could be a game specific. And
you're literally spoiling the video that I posted right as we started this.
well, you don't have to
I don't
give
mind.
yours.
It's
Now we
okay.
can cross promote then.
Those
So-
are issues you have when you're a YouTuber. Deal
Yeah.
with it.
Damn.
We got almost 70 viewers here, so we gotta give them some content while they're watching. So
For sure.
I'm gonna start, and anybody that knows me, especially during football season, which is about to end, and I just want to say I'm so glad the Packers got their asses whooped. But
Boo.
anyway, during football season, like I did yesterday, I was playing Wonderful 101 off TV play. Got through almost the entire chapter 4. I did the first 2. They're each broken up into 3. So off TV play is something I'm super excited about. That was one of my things I wanted most with back then when it was the NX. That was one of my top things. I want a second screen, maybe not a second screen for gaming, but at least one off TV. And now it's off TV and take it anywhere, so that's even a bonus. But I like to be playing around with the game while having a sports game or something live that I can't catch later on the TV, where I can just pause and check out the game and stuff, and then go back to what I'm playing. So I love that. I'm super excited about that, and the motion controls being an option, so future games to take advantage of that, and then obviously Zelda. I mean, even if that was just on Wii U, it'd still be just as excited about it. But I'm loving that it's on a new system, and I'm super excited about that, and some of the new creative things that they can do with the motion controls, like I said. So those are my 3, I guess, biggest things that I'm excited about. So let's just go random order here. Let's go with Robert, gaming with me.
Okay, so number 1 for me would be Zelda Breath of the Wild, because holy crap, it's gonna be like the greatest game of all time. Number 2 would be Splatoon 2, because holy crap, it's gonna be the best shooter of all time. And number 3 would be Mario Odyssey, because holy crap, it's gonna be like the best Mario game of all time. That's why. The 3 reasons why the Switch will be the greatest console known to mankind is those 3 reasons.
I like that they're all games. That's good stuff.
I like
Yes,
that
that's
he's
all I
not-
care about.
I like that he's not excited about the one thing he said he was most excited the NX to be.
What, the software lineup? Well, of course,
No.
yeah, but
Oh, the high.
The most thing, the hybrid. That you
Rhymes
wanted a
with
hybrid.
that's what I said. The one, well, no, okay, yeah, but why was I excited for the hybrid? Was to get one software lineup. That's why I was so excited.
That's
about
why.
it.
That's the
Fair
only
enough.
reason. Okay.
Fair enough.
Of course,
Yeah, that's like
About the
big
games,
pro.
not the hardware.
the games, man. Like, come on, I don't.
I thought you were a gamer, Jude.
I don't remember that being his answer when I asked him.
Well, no,
since
but a hybrid. But in my mind, the
Robert's
hybrid
young. You have
because
to
it
give
was,
him a pass.
you know what I mean. Hybrid because of one software.
Stop badgering the
lineup.
witness, man.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Of course, the great thing is that now I don't have to, like, let's say
But just to counter or to what's the cross examine
Cross-exam.
all the games you listed
Objection. Sorry.
have nothing to do with it. The hybrid being the United lineup.
It's true. They would have
handheld.
just been a console game.
Those are
yeah.
just, would have been Wii U.
But
so
but the thing is, now obviously those 3 games are. I mean, come on, obviously. But now, if there is like a a Pokemon on there, which there will be, obviously, I don't have to play on this tiny ass handheld. Now I can play it on my big ass screen. That's way better.
Yeah, like Fire Emblem Warriors that has
Or like the new
port.
Fire Emblem, literally, 2018. That I will actually buy. Because
I just want to
wanted
give you a little shit because I know you were so excited about the hybrid when I wasn't. So, but anyway,
Juice is an ass.
Retro Death. What are you most excited about with the Switch?
I'll also keep it to a top 3 then to keep it simple and fast.
Yeah, keep it short.
My main thing is that with the Wii U, Nintendo had a couple of games, not all of them, but a couple that they were able to make look better than what, for example, Sony and PlayStation were, Sony and Microsoft were able to do. So I'm very excited about the idea of Nintendo having more power in this console now than they had before. So my number 1 thing would seriously be Nintendo games, just more Nintendo games. After that, there was a quote from EA, seriously 1 or 2 days ago, I think, which got me really excited. And that is the fact that people bitch about the third-party stuff. But EA, I think it was EA, said that EA and a couple of other third-party developers helped Nintendo develop the Switch. And that got me really excited because that shows that besides general third-party games, we might get some really nice surprises when it comes to third-party still in the future. And the final thing is thanks to Rob and Robert last week, because before I couldn't care less about it, is the HD Rumble.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's true. All right, so let's go down. Let's go to Meza T, and let's keep it like Retro just did, nice and short and sweet.
Definitely do that. And mine is just one thing because basically, I feel like the Switch is going to be, it's going to get basically what the developers from the East do on the Vita. It's going to get the 3DS guys, developers coming over here, and it's going to get, obviously, Nintendo's top-tier first-party, great games. And to me, that is the most important, obviously. But a merging of that development, ecosystem is what's most exciting to me. I feel like the Switch is going to be, it's going to be the 3DS plus the Wii plus GameCube. And to me, that is glorious. So that's what I'm most excited for.
All right, and I need you to clear something up here in the comments. There's some debate whether Shenmue 2 was on Dreamcast or just Xbox.
Shenmue 2 was on Dreamcast in Japan, but
just
not
in Japan,
in America. Yeah,
only in Japan.
I have Shenmue 2 on the Dreamcast right here on my.
I'm sorry, and in Europe too. It was in Europe as well. Sorry about that.
It's so crazy. Why have it in English in Europe but not bring it?
It makes no sense.
It's a different type of English, Juice.
But I will say, playing Shenmue 2 on the Xbox 360 is probably the definitive way to play it because it's much cleaner, the textures and all that stuff runs better. So
the Dreamcast with the VGA actually I thought was the best looking one. If you watch Digital Foundry's little retro.
But I'm saying this one actually runs better and it has more effects because of the 360's power. So.
All right, so who's next? Rob, rule 2, go ahead.
So I will limit mine to just one because for a self-plug, right as we started this, I did upload a video, and it is the 5 best things about the Nintendo Switch, according to me, of course. So I'll only just spoil my number 1, and then I'm going to leave everyone else if wants to watch the video to watch the video. So for me, without question, the thing that I'm the most excited for is the Joy-Cons, which is definitely aided by the fact that I've had my hands all over those sexy things, and they're so fantastic. I love them so much. And the HD Rumble is great, and it lets us do so many freaking things. And I loved, like I said, what they showed off on the Tokyo event. It's just, they didn't have to put anything in those to just keep me excited about the Nintendo Switch and all the controls or whatever. But once I saw that those things are so integral to the Switch experience and how much care and like Nintendo magic they put into those things, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to finally own my own pair of Joy-Cons. And hopefully see what the industry and Nintendo and other developers actually do with them. So that's my thing. Joy-Con boys, like everyone's saying. And there's like 100 of those.
And you guys met Etika, and there's that little clip of them. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, we met Etika too, which was really cool. So
but
yeah, that's it.
Robert, you want to go ahead and kind of give that news you just linked, if you want.
Okay, so right now, my Nintendo news just linked one of my videos of the Nintendo Switch of the touchscreen, which is pretty damn crazy to think about. And what's crazy is, well, I guess it was of the tweet, and of that tweet had the source, which was my video. And it's like, it's pretty damn cool to see my, you know, a Nintendo thing that I follow. And apparently on Nintendo everything, Terrell, apparently.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Who's this Distify on Twitter that cut it down to a minute video like I suggested you should do, so that
he did that, and then he put source at the bottom. He should have put source at the top, but whatever.
because
it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah, that's Rob talking and you filming.
yeah,
and
it's
We
blowing
got
up.
celebrities in this bitch.
It's
man.
literally
Yeah.
the only footage of the Switch's touchscreen.
yeah,
That's right.
it's
We
pretty
broke that
insane.
scoop. And I mean, again, we broke it live while we were there, man. I posted
Yeah, that was on
to-
Twitter.
I posted
Yeah,
that
it's pretty
while we
strange.
were walking around the event in New York. I posted
Yeah.
that shit. It was
It's
so
true.
cool,
You
man.
did post that. You did
Yeah.
post one of the.
So we got the scoops, me and Robert.
We put
Is
that in the
that,
live chat.
Is that Robert's DSLR? Is that your DSLR, Robert?
That's my whatever that's called.
Yeah,
Now,
that
see, the
footage,
interesting-
the footage
now
in
the
his was the
interesting
I
nice.
fucking knew it. I knew he was
Now-
gonna do some shit like that.
Now, of course, you know, I guess this is the first time I could feel that. Is that technically I'm not getting as much credit because on Nintendo everything it says thanks to a video posted by Twitter user
Yeah, that's why I was
which
telling you to
technically
cut it short. so
Justify
that-
was sourced it, but they didn't say it was me. Okay, they,
just wanna just
Look at all this
Yeah.
saltiness.
because it was
Yeah.
buried in what, like a 20-something minute video of yours.
it was like 13 minutes, and then he cut out to for a minute of it, and then at the bottom he put source, which was my video, which is that's what you're supposed to do. But then they didn't say it sourced me. You know what I mean? No.
No.
You should get ahead of this and cut
Yeah.
it.
Cut it and just throw it
But I
up.
don't think you can.
Twitter.
I feel like I should do the same. Yeah, I've got the same
Yeah.
footage in mind
You guys should to cut it and put it up
Because Rob's voice is clearly in there asking questions.
Yep.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I asked him about the multi-touch too. So
Mhm.
yeah.
But
That's
you
cool.
did get a lot of views already on your video.
Oh yeah. Within
It's good, man.
4 hours, it was like 12,000. That's crazy.
So,
Blows my mind.
Terrell, what are you most excited about the Switch?
Japanese third party. Quick example: the Disgaea developer mentioned how he couldn't port the game to the Vita because he would have to downgrade things, but he didn't have to for the Switch version.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that whole kind of support that, it's that type of support in which it feels like we're getting the same version, if not better version of games. Same thing with Street Fighter. The second thing is that now I can literally do what I've been doing on my 3DS, which is that on my lunch breaks, I'll take my 3DS to work and be playing games like I've been doing with Dragon Quest VIII these last few days. So now when I want to play my Breath of the Wild at work or play Bomberman Online, I can just take that to work with me. So that's great. And third thing is, I don't know. I'm kind of excited about playing. I want to buy a Pro Controller, and I'm curious how that controller would work with gyros in it, because I've never really played with a traditional controller that had gyros in it, because besides the Wii U gamepad. So that's just a curiosity thing for me.
All right, and Robert, I'm commenting on that. What's your Twitter name there? Is it Gaming With Me?
Yeah. It's
All right, sorry.
Welcome to YouTube Analytics section, folks. We're trying to get Robert the
Where are
credit
you
he
doing that,
deserves,
Juice?
damn it.
I'm on Twitter because Rob linked the Distify guy who's going to be getting. He's put exclusive content. The only link is just it says YouTube at the bottom.
Where is that?
It does say. Let's see. Yeah, first I've seen looks very impressive. Exclusive footage, and then it just says YouTube at the bottom, and you click on.
Did
that.
he even respond to you?
I didn't. I'm typing it right now.
No, I meant to Robert.
Oh,
not good. All I've seen is
It's only been 6 minutes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know when you.
all right. Anyway, let's.
Just
We had to, this
Live
live, we
tweeting,
had-
man. We live tweeting.
I'm just saying, welcome to you.
I want my
Never
two
has it
Robs,
like that
and I want the two Robs to get the credit they deserve. there.
Exactly.
Well,
Word
I
up.
agree.
Thanks,
I agree.
homie.
I mean, yeah, I agree.
Word to your mother.
All right, so we started with things that we're most excited about. So, the only fair thing now is what are you concerned about with the Switch? So, I'm gonna go with Retro Death first, and I'm gonna kind of just random order here. So, are there any, if anything, I guess, if anything, what are you concerned
I have
about?
one thing, so I'll just keep it at that, so that I don't take up all the topics. One of my biggest concerns is just marketing, I guess. I feel that currently Nintendo is doing it perfectly with the marketing. I think there's already commercials on TV. The store where I went to today because there was a sale. So every month, this month, here in France, there's a sale through the whole country. So I went there just to look if there's something on sale. And they had a sign. It's a very busy street. It's the biggest chain in France. They had a massive sign, which is, I think I posted it on Twitter. Like it's twice my height. It is like the entire length of the store on the outside, giant ass Nintendo Switch. So far Nintendo is doing it right with the marketing. And my concern is that they don't keep it as aggressive as they're trying it right now. That's my biggest concern.
Okay. All right, Ms. T, do you have any concerns, and what are they, if you do?
Oh man, concerns. I guess most of my concerns have already been, with the port situation. We thought we were going to get a bunch of ports in the first year. We're getting a couple. Most of them seem to be like downloadable games and whatnot. So
yeah, third party.
Yeah. So that's good. I guess my only major concern now is the online infrastructure. Mainly that app, man. What's up with that app? Is it going to be, I'm going to have to be tethered to my phone? Because I have to look outside of the box. Every phone isn't the same. Is that going to work for everybody? Is it going to screw some people out of this situation? So that has to be fixed. I would guess that it's not. I feel like it's some kind of an option, some kind of go around. But I think there's a reason they're pushing the app. They're putting that foot forward. So I want to see what's up with that.
All right. How about you, Rob?
Well, it's weird because one of the things I'm most excited for is obviously third-party games because I love my third-party stuff. But I'm definitely concerned as well about the third-party scenario on the Switch, and if we're going to really continue to get the games that I personally look for and that I want to play also on my Nintendo system. If we're going to get a similar situation where we get half-assed attempts at first, and then when that stuff doesn't do well, then they back out and we stop getting those good things. I really hope that we don't get a repeat of what happened with the Wii U. I want the really good third-party stuff to continue. Even though I have a PS4 and Xbox One, I say all the time, I would still prefer to play third-party content on my Nintendo console. I just like to support it that way. So if it does go away, it obviously won't impact me because I can play them. But I really want the third-party situation to work out, and it's also really healthy for Nintendo. The other thing that I'm not in love with is the fact that there isn't a second screen experience. I'm one of those weirdos that really loved the gamepad when it was used well, and I would love to be able to use the Switch tablet at the same time we could play a game on the TV, but that's not how the system is built. And I love the tablet controller, and I'm excited for the portability, but I think it's a shame that we've lost the second screen thing in it all. So those are probably the two things that I don't like or just am worried about.
All right, Terrell, you're next.
I'll keep it simple. It's pretty much just the online infrastructure. That's my major concern. Because I don't like paying for online. That's just me.
And I think a lot of people are just instantly associating the price with the app. And Reggie pretty much said it's the servers and stuff are what cost the money. That's costs a lot of money to maintain. I think the app's just going to be however it works out. I think that's their solution to, I predicted back in 2015, a way to quickly be able to type stuff. And to me, it's awesome for the thought of game invites and setting up, hey, let's play later. That stuff, if I'm paying money, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm paying for this app. That money's for this app. I'm thinking the money's for the servers and all that. So that better be solid. And then the app's just kind of their solution for whatever reason. I know a lot of people are thinking, well, I'm paying money. Why am I using my phone? Well, you're paying money for them to keep the servers maintained and hopefully, won't have a Splatoon situation where they had to rush to add a bunch initially. Remember when that game launched? There was a lot of drop out, getting dropped out of games and stuff as they were trying to compensate for, I guess it sold way better than they were planning on. So, but anyway, Robert, I know you don't like to do negatives, but is there anything you're concerned about at this point?
I guess the only negative is again the online stuff. I mean, I think that's like honestly, that's the only thing I could think of that's like, well, we got to see more of to really guarantee that as a positive. Honestly, that's really it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so my concerns are, and as you guys were talking, I thought of a couple extra, and then I'm like, I didn't have them written down. I should have wrote them down. So I already kind of forgot. But of course, the online app, not sure how that's going to work. Is that going to be better than just using Hangouts? But obviously for game invites and stuff, it sounds like it's the way it's going to work. And I just don't know how all that's going to work out. And the other thing of this is from a console standpoint, not from the handheld standpoint, this might be, and we don't know for sure, but this is looking like it might even be as small or smaller leap than the Wii was over the GameCube. Now, I don't know if you guys feel that from what I'm seeing so far.
Dude, are you like, you have access to my videos? Because
No.
I literally just recorded that exact same.
He's
Yeah,
spoiling
dude.
my video. He's spoiling your video.
If you guys
Like-
watched my last video, I mean, I only picked out a few things I said and one thing Meza T said. What we were pretty much, a year, 2 years ago, we're kind of having discussions, and I feel like we know Nintendo pretty well.
Yeah.
And to me, like, this seems, unless there's one theory Digital Foundry actually came up with, a lot of the demos we saw and stuff so far, they think that people are developing for portable mode and haven't yet implemented anything for docked mode. Because why would Splatoon 2 be able to run 720p 60 frames per second in portable mode, and docked it's still 720p 60 frames per second with no extra effects? That makes no sense. So they're thinking a lot of developers are starting with the portable, and then they're going to, once they're in the final stages, add the extra and see what they can get away with the docked version.
Well, I think in Splatoon 2's case, it was being developed as a Wii U game. So
that, but still, I mean, it literally makes no sense that it has the same resolution without any extra effects in docked and undocked mode. So, but even with that, I'm just a little concerned that a couple years from now, this thing's going to be completely tapped out. And not that I love third-party stuff, but I think that's going to be, even if it gets some third-party support, even if it's selling well, it could still become a problem potentially down the road. But like I said, we don't know. I don't think we've seen the full extent of what this thing can do. I mean, Mario Kart 8 is 1080p, but that game could have almost, we don't know on Wii U, it could have, at one point they were saying 1080, so it might have been already right on the cusp, and they just said, no, we got to make it 720. But if we don't see like Splatoon 2 come out and the docked version still runs the same as portable, to me that's a little bit concerning. I guess not for this year, but I'm thinking a couple years from now as games get bigger. And
it's a really good point, because we always know, like, at the end of consoles life cycles is when some of the best stuff starts to become possible. Like Last of Us is a good example of that. In the 16-bit era, Vector Man on the Genesis was a good example of that. Like, they couldn't have done that at the beginning of the Genesis, but at the end they had this whole new thing. And like, as a third-party guy, I have that same concern actually. And like, you can even use an example, and it's silly because we know that, this isn't going to happen. But let's say a Titanfall 3 was going to get made. Like, that's the kind of game where, like, maybe according to Juice's thing here, like, they wouldn't even be able to make that game available. And you want those kinds of games to be possible on your Nintendo console if they're trying to fix the third-party thing. So then what happens? So it's a potential conundrum, definitely.
And the whole cartridge thing, which is great.
It is great,
but that could lead to potential what happened with the N64 and other games. Is some games like, hey, we need 64 gigs. Well, Nintendo's like, well, that's going to be $10 more or whatever charge, and then they're like, well, we're not eating the cost, so here's your $70 plus games.
Yeah.
I could see being a potential thing. And we used to pay that. Like there used to be $70-$80 games on the N64 that they had that extra RAM capability, or not RAM, but the ROM space. They had the double, what was it, 256 megabytes or megabits, whatever was the max, with like Resident Evil 2 and stuff like that. So and Perfect Dark, I believe, was like 70, and then with the RAM, it was like $100 game with the RAM expansion. So that's just a little something that may or may not happen, may not be an issue. 3DS games obviously don't, I don't think they take up that much space. I don't think we don't see that, but we do see a $30 games and $40 games. So I don't know what the difference, but anyway, let's take a little break here. Rob, you got a game ready for us?
Oh yeah.
this
So
week?
do you guys want to do it?
Let's
Game
do
time? Okay. Sweet.
Game
Oh
time.
man. I've been
Game
waiting
time!
I've been waiting forever.
Everybody get the hats turned on backwards. Let's go.
The return of the game. Okay, so it's a nice and simple game, and how long it takes is going to be up to you guys. So this is another game that I'm borrowing an idea from another podcast because I'm unoriginal and can't come up with my own ideas, so I steal them from better podcasts. So what we're doing is what GameScoop does at the end of every single one of their podcasts. I don't know if you guys listen to GameScoop. I love GameScoop, and they always do video game 20 questions. So I have a random video game that I think everyone in here is going to know, and you guys can collectively, this is as a group, everyone gets 20 questions for all of you to try to figure out what this game title is.
Okay.
And you guys can confer amongst yourselves, and you tell me when a question is like your final answer question. Like, yes, this is the question we're asking. Is it blah, 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 blah.
So
I'll tell you.
So it would be like, is it a platformer? Would be a question.
Sure. Is it? Yeah. I don't want to steer you guys in the wrong way. Is it a platformer? Is it this kind of a developer? Did it come out at this time? Multi-platform, all sorts of different questions.
So,
whatever you think can narrow it
down. From the beginning of gaming till now,
basically, yeah. If you ask the right questions, you can narrow down the time period real fast. You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing to do.
Who's good at these types of games? Because I don't.
Well,
you guys can talk
game
about
history stuff.
I would say the first question you ask is it platform exclusive, because it'll tell you if it's a first party IP or not.
Well, then there's so many platforms though.
Yeah, but see, we're working it down, Juice. We got 20 questions.
You whittle it down.
So,
Yeah, that seems like a good question to start with already, I feel.
And they're yes or no questions, of course. That's all you can ask me. Yes or no questions.
What about if is this been on a Nintendo system?
That's too broad to start with,
Yeah.
I would feel.
Yeah, I don't.
You think that's more broad than console exclusive?
Yeah, because console exclusive will even single out, like, let's say it's Super Mario 64, for example. If it's console exclusive, that means that could be a part of the list, versus if it's a Nintendo console game, which could be every Nintendo console game.
Yeah, plus if it's no, then you're fucked, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least you can get something out of the yes or no question.
You gotta make it easier for Grandpa Juice.
he turned his hearing aid up.
I'll tell you, you guys are asking really good questions amongst yourselves right now.
You can ask the first question then.
And put me on the spot. I didn't even hear any of this, so I'm just saying.
Do I need to? We'll keep.
No, we're not repeating. He can figure it out.
Well, no, you want me to just go with my question then?
Go for it.
Yeah, we'll
Terrell.
take that for sure.
Is it console exclusive?
Is it a console exclusive now, today?
Hey, you're the one who's supposed to be just answering yes or no.
All right.
Wait, now I'm confused.
Today,
as of right now, is it?
As of right now, it is not a console exclusive.
Okay, that means it's a multi-platform game. So I'm crossing out all Nintendo IPs for that one.
He also gave us technically a second answer to a free question.
Yeah,
It
that
used to be
means
exclusive.
it's a modern game too. It means it's also a modern game by saying as of today.
All right. Should we find out if it's? I don't
Like the original.
Should we find out if it's been on a portable or strictly home?
Oh, I got it.
What about a
Good question.
specific platform? Can we say that?
Well, we
Like,
can, but
Can we ask like but there's so many platforms.
But no. But if we know it's not a console exclusive, that tells me it's already a multi-platform game.
But is it a game that's been on a portable device versus? I think that would.
Well,
Yeah, I
also
think
could
it's a
rule
good
out.
question.
Go ahead.
You could rule out all the handhelds right there if it's a no. But if it's a yes, then that might actually give us some information.
We got 19 more, so go ahead. Go for it.
So I'm gonna ask: is it a game that's been on a portable system?
It has not. This game has not been.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So it's a modern game. It's multi-platform now.
How many questions do we get?
20.
20. Well, now 18. 18 now.
Now 18 left.
Okay. Does it feature?
Hold on.
No, hey, you need
We
to
wanna
consult us, damn
approve
it.
your
Don't jump to
question
too many
first.
conclusions.
You need to consult us. Don't
Okay,
just
fine.
throw out questions.
Let me. Do you guys think we should find out if it's a male or a female, the main character?
No, because most games.
Because
have
once you
male.
say female, you nailed it down to like 2.
But if he says male, then it doesn't help us at all.
Yeah, it does, because now it's not Tomb Raider, right?
Oh.
It's not Rise of the Tomb Raider. That was an exclusive.
I think that's a legit question, assuming it has one main character.
What
if it's a fighting game?
Come on, listen, we have 18
But what if
questions.
it's a
That's lot
fighting
of
game?
good.
No, because we sit here and try to pick apart the genre. That's gonna.
Oh well, then if it's a fighting game, then
It has no main character, so he can't answer yes or no.
no. Well, then it'd be like it's both.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's see if we can.
How about
should
we
go-
ask
we
if
should
it's
go one
an
at a
indie
time
or
and all.
AAA?
Oh yeah, that's
That's
good.
good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
that's
ahead.
good. Yeah.
Okay, so is it
I
an
think it
indie
will
game
be.
or a AAA game?
Or it's
I
a
would
yes or no. It's a yes or no question, so you got
Is it an indie game?
No, it's not.
Okay, so it's AAA. Oh,
Okay, so-
what if it's
not
a
necessarily
Western?
AAA? It's just a major publisher.
Yeah, not an indie game.
Okay. Well, what about asking whether it's a Western or Japanese developer?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I like that.
Go
You
ahead.
gotta be a yes or no question.
Okay,
Say it.
fine. Well, this will help. Is it a Japanese developer?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right.
Does
All right.
does it have a female protagonist?
Hey.
Hey, you can't be throwing questions out there,
You
man.
guys
So-
want me to ask?
I thought
I just realized
agreed. I thought we agreed.
No, because what if it doesn't have a main character?
Then
What if
we're,
there's 5 characters?
Then again, it still narrows it down.
well, he's
I
only
was
going to
telling you
say,
with
but here's the problem though. If he says yes or no, then we would never know.
It
Because
narrows
if you
it down
can-
as much
because
as
Because if it doesn't have a main character, then
But
he
what-
could, and it could be a fighting game.
Main
Still.
character.
Yeah,
or
but
if you
if
can
you
create a
say,
character and then he says yes because you can create a female character.
yeah, that narrows it down as much as does it have DLC?
We're trying to think. We're trying to think because we know it's a Japanese developer. We know it's
what about multiplayer? Should we ask if it's multiplayer game? Has-
Okay, go ahead. Go
It's
ahead.
already-
Multiplayer focused.
Go ahead.
Is multiplayer focus a fair question to specify focused?
It is
Yeah.
are you asking me? 'Cause
Would
I
you say
think
like
that's a fair question.
Splatoon? If someone says Splatoon, would you consider that multiplayer? focused?
Definitely.
Of course.
Okay, so let's. I guess that's a good question. Go ahead, T.
it's like he was scared to ask the question.
Okay, so the suspense is killing you. I'm sure. My question is it a multiplayer focused game?
No, it is not.
No,
okay.
it's not.
Okay.
And I'll also
player-
recommend you guys.
Is it a
I'll
single player
recommend-
focus? No,
Hold on. Let me just say, I'm going to recommend that you guys don't look at the chat because I just thought about that. You might, unless you guys want, but it might make it easier for you guys to guess if somebody.
Nah,
figures
I'm
it
not
out.
gonna
Should
look
have
at
told
I'm
us
not looking.
that.
So I would say that.
Okay, wait. How many questions do we have left right now?
So that's 5 questions asked. So there's 15
Okay.
to go.
So it's Japanese. It's
is
single
Jap-
player
Is anybody writing this
focused,
shit down? Because
it's
Yeah,
console.
Japanese single player focus.
I can help out. Also, if you guys ask a question that I can't answer, it won't count against you. So
All
let's
right.
say you asked that, how male or female, and let's pretend I couldn't
Mhm.
answer that. I would let you know. So
So
Alright.
is it does it have a female protagonist?
No, that's not a
Dude,
question. We
dude,
want.
We're not agreeing on that one. Okay, wait. Let's see where we're at right now. It's at least it's a higher budget game. Whether or not it's AAA doesn't matter.
Okay,
It's
what
not as
about-
indie.
third party game.
It's
Third
Japanese.
party Japanese, which
So-
means what are our developers left in? Because it's also
we
it
start-
can't- go ahead.
I think we can go into like genre
Genres?
as
Yeah,
far
that's what I was
as
gonna say. Is
Yeah, because-
Is it an
RPG?
action game?
Right. now we can go into genre.
No, because there aren't that many Japanese action games.
I'll- Yeah, I wouldn't want to.
Oh, I got it. What about asking if it's an RPG? Since it's
That's a good question.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay. Is it an RPG?
no.
No
It's not.
RPG.
it's not an RPG. So I
Well, then maybe it's an action game.
It's
probably-
yeah, but I'm trying to think. That means Square Enix for the most part.
All right. What if we ask if it's come out in the
Last 5. What
Well,
about
he kind of. Well, no, he kind of admitted that when he said. He kind of, no. See, he admitted
You
that
consult with
earlier.
us about that, dude. I mean,
But remember when we asked the question of whether or not it was a multi-plat or not, and he said as of right now, which tells me it's a modern game.
Yeah, we
It's a
very
Well, it could have been a
established that.
remake. They could have remade it. It
Yeah.
could be 20 years old, and they just they brought it back or something.
But
So
is it?
guys, what about is it action game?
That's just, I mean,
I think before genre, we should nail it down to the platform maybe.
Well, if it's multi-platform,
The
then maybe-
original
Wanna say,
platform.
is it on PS4? Should
Well,
we
it's
say-
obvious.
No, we're not gonna do that because it'll obviously be on PlayStation 4.
Right.
Why?
what if we ask if it,
If it came out in the last year.
It came out last year, and it's a
No.
Japanese
well, if he says no, then it doesn't get us.
publisher.
Okay, the
Yeah,
last.
we need to
5
think of
years.
something that gives us something regardless if we ask yes or no.
Okay, the last 5 years then.
No, that doesn't.
It
You're
doesn't
not
narrow
gonna,
it down.
Wait, Robert, just wait a minute.
Hold
Wait
on,
a
let's
minute.
just everybody just think for a second.
Last 30 years.
So it's-
I
it's-
love the dedication. This is so.
You know the sad thing
biting my
is,
tongue like crazy
Let me-
I'm telling you,
now.
what
I
is
got-
it- watch it be
I
like
already
Bayonetta.
have a guess of what the game is.
After 5 questions.
After that,
I have a guess,
No,
very-
you can't guess.
but I won't do it. I need to see our questions lean me.
would it
into-
help to know if it's a rated mature game or not?
Oh,
Would
that's
that
a
be
good. Yeah, that's a good idea. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it rated?
that would
M?
help. I have
Okay.
an idea what the game is too, but if I hear this,
All right,
Pretty sure.
Rob, is it rated M for mature?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Damn.
You want to narrow? You want to do race? Is it rated TV teen?
No.
it just shot my idea down.
Yeah,
I
I did. It shot mine too because I was thinking.
There you go.
Can we ask what about if it's a 3D game, or a 2D
Yeah,
side scroller?
that's pretty good.
You think that better than
If it's not
female
a- if it's not-
protagonist?
I'll say if
Yeah.
it's not an RPG, that I would think it had to be for the most part a 3D game.
But I mean, let's narrow it down. I think
first. To
So-
perspective?
yeah,
what you're saying?
like I'm talking the game engine's a 3D game.
Oh,
You think that's a good question or not?
Sure.
I'm not.
I think so.
why not? We got a lot of questions.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Exactly.
Is it a 3D game
Robert's
engine?
like, exactly.
It is a 3D game.
Okay.
I don't
Oh.
think that helped as much as I wanted
Because
it to.
2D
to be
games
sure
are-
now.
Well, it eliminates a lot of 2D games.
It eliminates.
Sure, but yeah, that's
What
what
did I
we
just
find
say?
out. That we should find out if the male the protagonist has a dick.
Dude.
What if you can choose both? Well, I guess if you can't answer, he'll tell us. But
Wait. Well, we know that the developer is Japanese, but we don't know if the owner of the IP is Japanese.
Oh, here's something. What if we say
That's a good point.
is the main?
Because think about it, like
protagonist-
you can have a game like Beautiful Joe that was technically made by Platinum, but it's owned by Capcom.
Okay.
did we ask?
But they're both Japanese.
Did we say specifically?
Look, it wasn't the best example.
I was just, you totally messed up. Like, what?
Okay, fine. What about Days? Okay, I could take Deus Ex Human Revolution then. Does that work better?
That works much better, yes.
Okay.
Did we ask specifically if it was
We
How
said the
is it?
developer was Japanese.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
We don't know if the holder of the IP is Japanese,
Okay.
though.
Well, let's ask that question. No,
Okay.
Or what
Is
if? Let me think though. But if it is, that gets us nowhere, right?
it probably doesn't. Yes, it probably gets us nowhere.
No, it probably doesn't.
Let's wait for a sec. Retro, you got any thoughts?
No, I was just more curious about the 3D we decided on. So is it like a 3D perspective game, like let's say Ocarina of Time, or did we agree now that it's 3D as in 2.5D, which still has 3D rendered characters, for example?
No. How about we just
It's
do
fully
this?
3D.
Okay, wait.
Let's say third,
I got a better question.
first, or third person or first person point of view.
Yeah, okay, that's what I meant. Okay.
Okay, well, what
Yeah,
about?
because I
this
just
question?
asked the game
What
engine.
if-
I guess the point of view could still be 2D, like Donkey Kong Country Tropical
Well,
Freeze.
Well, that's what I meant.
Say, well, I was going to ask since
Right.
you brought up the whole thing earlier about how we found out that the game, at least recently, is multi-platform.
Mm-hmm.
What about asking if the original version of the game came out? How you struck that as yes or no question? Like asking if the original version of the game was that on like the last 3 consoles or anything, like the last generation.
Was it on the 7th gen consoles?
Yeah, the original version of the game, since it used to be exclusive. I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's a
Well,
good question.
because of the way he kind of worded it, it leads it to. But our initial question was, what was the exact wording of the question that you asked first?
The original question was,
Is it a console exclusive, right?
Is it a console exclusive? And then his response was, as of now, which tells me originally it was a console exclusive.
but we don't 100% know that. That's just kind of what it.
We're listen. Yes, we're taking somewhat of a guess here, which is why we need to figure out how old the original version of the game was.
Can we go with the perspective? I think that'll help.
Yeah.
Also.
What if it's first person or
third person? Yeah,
that's a good one.
So
okay, is it a first person game?
Okay, yeah, do that.
Rob, is it first person game?
It is not.
Okay, so it's a third person 3D
What was
game.
about the protagonist? You know,
Japanese developer.
How about the fact that if the multi-plat release is already out or not?
Wait a minute, it couldn't be. Nah.
I mean, the way we phrased it.
For example, Lego City is an exclusive from Nintendo. It's going to become multi-plat, but it's not out yet as a multi-plat.
So yeah, at this point, would you consider that game a console exclusive? I think you would. You wouldn't because we know the other versions are there.
Yeah,
but originally it was an exclusive.
Right.
We need to figure out
if he knows. Then he knows that it is becoming a multi-plat.
Well, we need to know the time frame between the original version and the re-release in the multi-plat version. Because
Rob's just, I wonder how much he's thinking. Man, they're really assuming a lot by that. Yet.
I bite my tongue. That's
but
I'm
see,
working
he
so
said
hard.
it.
My hand is on my mouth.
It's not a console exclusive.
We also need to start looking at developers because that would help narrow down the.
What if? I mean, that doesn't mean it came out 7th gen and now it's coming out on. Now it's also an 8th gen game.
Well, okay,
necessarily.
Let's tackle this from the developer standpoint, since we know it's Japanese and it's it's in the third person. The developers we have off the top of my head would be Platinum.
But theirs are rated M usually,
right?
Aren't they?
Ooh, actually, I'm trying to think. Is there any IP they currently have that isn't rated?
What's Wonderful 101 isn't so?
Yeah, that's teen, and that is third person.
But that's console exclusive. So
yeah, okay. Well, this is why I was when we said developer, we didn't say
down the original console would be pretty decent start.
Well, that's what I was working on, but I don't know how do you ask that question?
You ask it by asking.
Is it Nintendo? Yeah.
By saying,
oh yeah,
there's only 3 consoles.
Yeah.
You know?
Who originally had did Nintendo originally have it exclusive before it went multi-platform?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, Rob, did Nintendo originally have it exclusive before it went multi-platform?
No.
Okay, damn.
Now ask for Microsoft or
PlayStation. I don't think we need to do that because Microsoft doesn't.
Microsoft had
this Japanese game. I don't think it's Microsoft.
Right. So it's probably on PlayStation.
It's a PlayStation game that used to be exclusive that now is a multi-plat.
Well, that's not confirmed. It's just
fine. It's
what if it was PS3? Then it's also on PS4 now. Like that's not technically a multi-plat.
Okay, is it on a Sony?
Yeah. That's why I said Nintendo. So that means so it has to be Sony, or Microsoft, and it's more than likely going to be Sony. Just off of, we're going to have to take some kind of guesstimation here.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe then we first decide. Didn't we ask that question, or were we about the gen? If the first original release was from this gen or the previous one?
I don't think we asked that.
That question has not been asked.
No, we didn't ask that.
We just asked it. Go ahead.
Yeah, is it a current gen game? I want to say current. I mean Wii U, PS4, Xbox One.
No.
Shit.
All right.
Yeah, okay. So it is a
PS3, probably Wii.
It took you guys 10 questions to ask that. Just saying.
Okay. So
it's not an 8th gen game.
It's a 7th gen game, like I thought. Okay.
So Wii, 360, PS3, and it's a game that went from more than likely a Sony console. I'm not gonna say confirmed, but more likely a Sony console to a multi-plat.
It's not
Wait a minute.
Third point.
That doesn't necessarily.
Wait, then what game would that be?
I think I know. No, that's not.
Wait a minute.
Tease. You tease.
Wait a minute. What?
What do we got? 10 questions left or something?
10 questions to go still.
You know what? We need to specify this. We already
asked if it was the fighter or not. I don't know.
I need to 100% know it's Microsoft because I know it's not Microsoft because I know Microsoft did have a few Japanese games, but I don't know if there were enough to justify it.
That doesn't mean it's 7th gen either. This is something.
Yeah.
That could
Well,
be-
we need to narrow down the console right now.
yeah.
Did Sony originally? So asking the question, did Sony originally was?
You can just ask me if that's your question.
Yeah, if Sony originally had the exclusive or not.
Yes, they did.
Okay, so all right, we know for a fact it's a Sony game.
Mm-hmm.
What Sony title would they have lost? Wait,
No, Sony had the exclusivity. It doesn't mean it's actually a Sony game, though.
yo, that is true.
Yeah,
but
exclusivity.
Yeah, and that's
it's-
the question I was answering. By
Yeah,
the way, what you
it's a
said,
third-
Retro.
Yeah, because it's a Japanese developer and it's and it used to be console exclusive, so that means it was never a Sony IP. Then it couldn't
Should
have
we
been.
just ask? Is it from the PlayStation? 3?
Which one? Which PlayStation?
Well, we're running out of questions, but I don't want to drag this out a whole lot longer.
Well, if it's not
so-
PlayStation 3, then
Well, you
It
only
can't
asked
be.
about the PS4 generation. We didn't ask about
yeah.
so.
So
Okay.
that
Ask that
good.
question. Was it a PlayStation 3 game originally?
No, it was not.
Damn it.
Ooh.
Okay. So that means it's PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2.
Mm.
Oh, what? See, that's not my area.
plot- the plot is
That's not
thickening.
my area of expertise at all.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I might have an idea, but I'm not sure.
I have no clue, man.
'Cause I don't know. Actually, I need to go look up a developer real quick because I don't know. I don't know if this developer is Japanese or not.
It still could be the PS1 or PS2. Could be the.
Well, I'm looking.
It's not the PS3, obviously, so it's the PS1 or PS2.
Mhm.
Or it could be the Vita or no.
There's
It's
two
not
franchises
handheld.
I actually
No
have.
handheld.
It's not a handheld.
No
Remember
handheld.
that, that's right. So
We could also narrow down what the multipad release is from, though, because who says that is this gen? Maybe that was like the gen after that.
It's a Japanese game on the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2. It's a
Mike, your
third-person game.
Not rated M. It's not an RPG. Single player focused.
What the fuck could that be?
PS2.
Huh?
I have no belief in it being a
Oh,
PS1 game.
And you said it wasn't on PS3, right?
No, I said that the original release was not a PS3.
Oh, why
Yeah,
did
the original release.
That was the question I thought
I
I was
know.
answering.
Why didn't
Yeah.
we just ask if it was ever on the PS3?
Well,
Because I think I know what it is now.
wait. How many guesses do we get for like guessing the game?
They're
One.
part of
Is
the
it only
questions,
one?
I think.
I think I know the answer if we can ask if it was on the PS3, because you asked if it was originally on the PS3.
Yeah, well, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what.
Was the game ever on the PS3?
It was on the PlayStation
Okay,
3.
so
Okay, yeah,
I have an answer.
I see
What?
anyone. You throw it out if you
But-
want.
wait.
Is
can
it-
we,
is it-
discuss
Let me
that?
Let me talk to you guys. All right, so I think it's either Ico or Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh.
Shadow of the Colossus had a remake or a port.
PS3.
Yeah,
Wait, Shadow of the Colossus is a. No, wait, never mind.
the HD, collection.
But I thought it was a multi-platform game.
No, he just said it's not console exclusive. It is on the PS2 and the PS3.
Oh, so
You didn't
console
answer the right
exclusive
question.
isn't right?
That still makes
console-
it multiplat, though. I guess if it's based
But
on
you
the
asked
PS3.
if it was a console exclusive. He said no, and he was.
We should have asked if it was like Nintendo or Sony exclusive, not fucking console.
Yeah,
exclusive.
we still can.
We can ask if it was ever on. Can we join? All right. Can we just say was it ever on a non-Sony system? Would
Well,
that be-
yeah.
All right. Was it this game ever on a non-Sony system?
Yes, it was.
Oh,
That's what I
Oh,
was
man.
thinking.
I hate you.
I'm like
Okay.
sweating balls here. This is so much fun.
Wait a minute. Okay. So that means it's current. See, I was thinking Spyro or Crash, and I'm like,
This turned out to be. I'm gauging this first attempt at this to see how
Damn it.
hard these are. I don't know
hard.
if this is hard.
I'm
or
trying
not.
to think because I was thinking Spyro.
So was
I was thinking, but I'm like, wait a minute. Both of those are American developers.
I will say, and I shouldn't say this, but it's our first time ever playing this. I will say this one thing: Juice, your head was in the right area there. That's all I'm going to say. That's the one hint I'm
Okay.
going to give you. You were thinking in the right sort of direction. I'll say.
What that doesn't.
That's all I, can say.
I wish you would have said yes to that question.
I know. Yeah.
Okay,
I cannot
so-
though. I cannot say yes.
How
That
many
means,
questions we got
that
left?
means it's on a Microsoft or Nintendo platform.
6 questions still.
Got 6 questions left.
It's on a Microsoft or Nintendo or Steam.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we didn't
That's
think about PC.
Japanese. That means it would have lost it to Nintendo. I'm guessing.
Well, it could have been PC too. That could have been the other option.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, because it started.
What about- can it be Sonic
still
Lost
started
World?
on. It still started on a Sony platform, so we still got.
Oh no, never mind. No.
It was a Sony exclusive originally. That's what.
Yeah, so it's still Sony IP. It's still like a third-party game. It's part of that
The original game was
on Sony.
on a Sony console.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it got ported to the PS3.
It's
We
not
know
an
that.
RPG, so
And most of those ports usually only go to the 360 afterwards, not the Wii. Then, for example, I would
Yeah,
say.
it could be
But it's
PC as well.
but it's a Japanese.
What
yeah, so it
about-
has to be in a-
What about a Metal? No, it wasn't on a handheld. So
I
Metal
think
Gear
I know.
Solid
I think
3.
I know. I just can't think of the name right now. Hold on.
It's not. It
You
can't be.
can
Wait, no.
describe it. You can try to
What
describe
about Metal Gear Solid? Was that rated M?
I would think it would be.
Yeah, I would
Yeah, it's
think
rated.
so.
That's an
Yeah.
M-rated game. It's an
Yeah.
M-rated game.
I'm pretty sure Metal Gear is.
That was an official question.
I know. I know.
So it's a that means it's a PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1 era game.
Man, I wonder what people are screaming in the chat.
What the fuck could it be? I'm not as familiar.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
that's
some
true. What
good
about
ones.
Okami? Yeah, I didn't think about that.
No.
That fit.
Yeah, that fits all.
And it was
the
not on
criteria.
a Nintendo system, wasn't it?
No, but
Or is it
it
just the
originally,
original one?
but it originally started out as a Sony exclusive. That's the
Yeah,
Okami started.
and it was on the
PlayStation?
PS3.
Does
Yeah, it
Okami?
was. No,
Is that-
Yeah,
wasn't.
no,
yeah, they
Okami
released the HD.
no. Oh, wait, Okami was on PS3.
oh, they did
bro?
release
Yeah.
an HD version,
Yeah,
didn't
they
they?
released
version. It was on the Wii.
God damn it!
Okami, I don't think. What would it be?
I think we're in the right realm, though. I think we're in the right.
It's like that. It's that weird.
Can we just?
Okay.
No, Okami was on the PlayStation.
You just asked,
though.
was it a PS3 remaster at some point? Would that
Yeah,
help?
Well, it kind of had
No.
to be if it's on the PS3
Yeah, and it wasn't originally on the
But,
PS3.
because he
We
said it
already
was on the
asked.
PS3.
yeah, we already got that. So
What about?
Oh, what game?
Um,
Oh.
did we figure out it's not?
Okay, well here we need to narrow
Can
it
we ask
down.
another genre question?
what? Yeah, if it's an action game, that
Well,
would,
if it's third person, we need to pick a genre that.
Robert's just mad that we never went with his. The main character of Akami's a freaking wolf. So
But
Well,
the
you
wolf
said
is a
protagonist
girl.
and
Okami-
Animals have genders.
Well,
How
I'm
about
about
we
to
say
say
it? How about we
girl,
say
I
it?
think.
How about we
Okami's a
say
girl.
Is it a
Human
is the
or-
protagonist animal? You could say that.
no, that doesn't narrow down a ton.
Yeah, there's
but
not that many.
we might as well just guess Akami at that point.
Well, no, actually, no, because no. It might work because remember, a lot of PlayStation 1 games had a lot of animal mascots.
They love animals.
It might at least narrow it out of the PlayStation 1 realm if we ask that
I
question.
think at that point we might as well just go with Robert's thing and ask if it's a female protagonist more so than if it's an animal one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it. Just ask the gender question.
Ask. Okay, is it a female protagonist?
It is not.
Wait a second. You know what? Oh yeah,
No,
Yeah.
fuck it. Okay,
Well, that
fine.
helped.
Okay, fine. So it's not Okami.
So it's not a female protagonist. Well, why don't we try
Okami.
Okami? Or we
And
can't.
Oh, Okami's is a woman. I know
Tommy's
that.
a girl.
Yeah,
Okami's a girl.
Not the
I
wolf
remember.
wasn't.
Yeah, the wolf is
I
the
think
one.
she
Is a
was.
woman. Yeah, she is
Really?
a woman. Yeah, she's a girl. The Wii version kind of
Yes,
reminded me when I played it, but it's also not Tomb Raider. What the fuck else? What
Well,
the
that was on the dream, or wasn't that a Saturn first?
was it?
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm not that familiar, so I'll believe you on that one.
Well, I'm gonna ask. Can I ask-
I think I know. I think I know.
Go ahead. Well, we'll ask a question. Should we ask if it was an action game or not? That doesn't.
What other genres are there
That
left?
would answer to that would eliminate what I think. So I don't know. if that's
You'll
important
actually
enough.
go ahead and ask you so we know before you bring it out.
Was it or is it an action game?
Yes.
All right.
Also, I have to answer Robert's question differently. There is a female protagonist.
Oh,
What?
that makes it
Hey, oh.
What?
Okami.
What does that mean? What does that mean then?
I'm lost.
that means that now it's Okami because
It has to be
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna say it's Okami.
But that's
now.
is that an action? I mean, that's an adventure game.
It's an action.
It's
It's just
an
fighting.
action.
Well, I mean, it's about drawing and
Yeah.
and stuff.
Drawing and blasting.
All right. I just want to get this over with. So,
Okami.
is it Okami?
It is Okami.
Yeah.
You
How the
guys
fuck
did
did-
it.
How did
It's
Game Idea
17
Guy know that, or whoever said? Like, I saw it in the chat. Like, how did they know that?
Okami was the one I could see. Okami was the only.
But you were right. That hint you gave me should have let me know because I was I was thinking.
Wait,
So
which
did
hint?
the Wii U versions
When I was talking about
have
Shadow
IGN
Colossus.
on it?
Say what?
Did the Wii U or did the Wii's
The Wii
version?
Yeah,
have
IGN was on the cover.
in the art.
Why?
artwork? Because it was so damn cheap. They took a photo from IGN and printed it for the Wii cover.
Oh, what?
You can- it's kind of.
I have it. I should
I
look.
have it too. Yeah, it's kind of faint and it's like IGN. You can see the IGN logo.
Let me look.
in the-
I'll be right back.
It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah, I
Hey,
remember when that
bitch.
happened too.
Just as the rating for me though on it.
Yeah,
for
they,
IGN.
whoever the publisher was, when they went to IGN to get a the picture for the box art from IGN, and their watermark was still on it, and so
Oh.
they printed all those freaking copies out. with
Ironically
IGN.
enough,
I don't see what you're talking about, T.
Really?
Where's it at?
on the
Hold
back
on,
of the front.
Let me go grab mine. Don't.
So ironically
nobody
enough,
move.
if we had asked Robert's question from the beginning about the female protagonist,
Yep.
we would have narrowed it down significantly.
That's
But
what
I
I'm
think
talking about.
even more than that, Robert, when you started talking about if it's a human or not, and you guys dismissed that, that's
Yeah.
a great
Well, no, that's the reason why I brought it
Sorry,
up,
Rob.
because of the whole PlayStation 1 and
If
the...
we had asked that in the beginning, he would have said no. It is not a female character.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you didn't know until I mentioned it.
I see the
Well, and that's
IGN.
true. And let me say this about that too. But like, I had researched, I had like Wikipedia pulled up, and I was researching because I knew that might become a question. I was pretty sure.
So you already
Okami was
found
a
it. I'm
female
betting.
I
too.
found it.
Right?
I was pretty sure Okami was a female too, but I researched, and on Wikipedia, I couldn't find anything where it said that. I was looking for he's or she's, so I looked somewhere else, and people were saying that Okami was a male. And then when you started saying, Terrell, you're like, well, I know Okami's a female anyway, and so I scoured even further in Wikipedia really fast, and I saw where they mentioned Sun Goddess.
Yeah, I'm
I
actually
was like,
surprised.
oh,
Yeah, because
That's right.
what
Okami's good. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
did research that, but I found bad information. So
Ironically,
I
and
couldn't
that-
let you guys go without correcting that. That wouldn't be
Mhm.
fair. So
See, that's
And,
what turned me out. No,
yeah,
man.
You're right by the mouth. There's a faint IGN logo
Yep.
in the picture,
Yeah.
and it was ported by Ready at Dawn. Didn't they do the Order 1886 or
Yes,
something?
they did.
yeah, and some of the God of War stuff.
They made some.
And yeah,
They
and
made
yeah,
some
the
good PSP games.
developer was Clover Studio, published by Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
By the
They
way.
made
So both-
what not ratcheting. Yeah, wasn't it not Ratchet and Clank? Daxter. They made Daxter for PSP.
All right.
in God of War. So
God
good
of
job,
War.
guys. You got it.
That was
17
hard, though.
questions.
That was
Yeah.
tough. So, all right. I was gonna talk about the Titanfall 2 dev, but Ms. T kind of enlightened us that he said that back in October.
Yeah, he did. That was
All
already
right.
proven because it was his reaction to the trailer, the Switch
right.
reveal trailer.
And he said it wouldn't fit.
Yeah, but he was basing off of literally nothing.
So we can scrap that part, but let's talk about the Nintendo hasn't made a AAA game in 7+ years, or whatever
What?
he said.
Wait, who said that?
Who's that?
He said that in the
Same
same
guy.
video.
Oh, did he? Oh,
So what I wanted to get your guys' thoughts, and I asked this in Real Gamers podcast last night, and him and Alex were discussing. I guess it depends on what he thinks a AAA game is by definition. Now, they were saying they think the main definition goes by the budget, but I mean, I don't even know because we don't know the budgets of a lot of games. So what do you guys think is a AAA game? Do you think budget only, or I mean, what?
Well, I want to know what he thought their last AAA game was.
Because that
Probably
would,
Ocarina of Time in his eyes.
I'm
He said
thinking
7
he was,
years, right?
yeah, like 7 years. So that would have been 2009, maybe
Some
like
Galaxy, maybe.
Mario Galaxy or Skyward Sword or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
But
Why. Okay.
the point, I'll get to the reason that I pulled this out. But what do you guys think in your mind? What makes a AAA game to you, not just whatever the technical definition is?
I mean,
Well-
I think that. Oh, go ahead, Retro. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, because this comes back to people complaining, for example, about the Bomberman price. When people say it is not worth like $60. And I was thinking then already, but since when has Bomberman, for example, not have been a AAA game?
gonna
Bomberman
say,
games
Yeah.
have always been high quality games. To me, it is as simple as if you don't have an indie team with 5 people working on it, you have a big team working on it. It gets promoted a bit. There's a minimum amount of budget put into it, not necessarily millions, but then it's already AAA for me.
Right.
Bomberman counts as a AAA game. I have no idea what people say. Like it used to be like a $5 indie game on the NES and the Super
Yeah.
Nintendo and everything.
Well, why? I think
It's a
it's
good point.
I think it's partially dealing with the genre. I've noticed that certain genres are viewed as more budget titles than they are
Today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying today.
Yeah, go find a copy of Saturn Bomberman for under $50 today.
Yeah.
A used copy, and tell me about worth.
So I wonder, obviously Titanfall 2, he was out or coming out right around the time then. I'm sure that game had a pretty high budget. I went probably maybe not as high as like Battlefield got or something from EA, but to me, like a AAA game is just something that had a lot of time put into it, and it's quality, whether the budget was huge or not. Xenoblade Chronicles X, they said it isn't a AAA game to them, but to me, it feels like a AAA game, like the level of polish and just the scope of that game, especially. And so it's like, but it is an interesting question because I honestly didn't know the true answer. So, I mean, if anybody else has any thoughts.
It's hard to peg down because I would have said production, but it's not a huge production. And like Richard just said, there's not huge production values in Bomberman. But I feel like it's worth it because of its lasting appeal. It's not just, I sit down for 8 hours and then beat it and I'm done with it. Where it doesn't meet the criteria as far as production value or all that stuff, it meets it in just like overall gaming longevity. Like,
yeah, because like
get out of it.
Is the Order 1886 a AAA game maybe on budget wise, but the end result,
right? Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to answer, and I think that there's a lot of elements that can go into it. I think one of the biggest ones, Retro, is what you said. Like the size of the team really determines an independent developer or not. And part of the reason an indie game is called an indie game is because the developer is independent.
Yeah.
So that's a huge one. I do think budget is in the conversation. I think that is part of what can be used to define it for sure. But I also think that the budget could be relative. Like we've basically learned that whereas Bungie may need $500 million to make their game, Nintendo can make the same scale with like 50 or 70 million, right? So they just know how to budget and work within their realms. But that's still a AAA budget for Nintendo standards or for another company's standards or whatever. So I think that, and then also like, I think the marketing, how it's pushed and promoted and where it's promoted can also determine, like, you're not going to see an indie game promoted during an NBA game or an NFL game, but you're going to see a AAA budget, like a Call of Duty or a Madden, or even something like a Breath of the Wild, like, or in a movie theater and stuff like those kinds of places. To me, you won't see indie games, but you will see AAA games. So I think that's part of it too.
All right. So here's the question I'm kind of wanted to get towards. Since he's, in this guy's mind, Nintendo hasn't, he just threw out 7 years, whether he meant that specifically or not.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like Mario Kart 8, AAA game, Smash Brothers 4, AAA game, and Skyward Sword, obviously, since then, Mario Galaxy 2. I don't know if I would put Splatoon in there just because of the short development time.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a little bit of a gray area.
Yeah. So for me, for the Wii U, I would say Mario Kart 8, Smash 4, without a doubt. To me, I would call it AAA games. I don't know if you guys disagree, agree, or can think of another one you might throw in there.
Of course, I'd even throw 3D World in there. I think that's
3D World, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, and so the main thing is, if he, I don't know what he was trying to say, or what he was trying to.
That's AAA to me.
I mean, yeah.
Bayonetta 2. Well, I mean, yeah, they published it and sort of pseudo developed to a degree.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's definitely AAA. I just don't know if we call that Nintendo or not.
Oh, you just saying Nintendo games. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the point is, like, all right, I don't know if he's trying to say that's like he's dogging them, because if you look at it, let's say, budget wise, none of those games qualify, but then look at the result, look at the quality, the polish, and then look at the sales, especially in the Wii era. I mean, look at the sales that those games got. Galaxy was like 12 million. Galaxy 2 was like 7, 8.
But that's what drives me insane about this whole thing is that people assume AAA to be quality.
I was gonna say,
a lot of people associate that with quality.
Because here's a better question: would you consider Minecraft a AAA game?
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I don't
See,
know.
Maybe now, but maybe not when it was first
Not
developed.
back then. Yeah, that's the interesting. Not back then, but now.
is that
yeah.
just that? But what? Why
I
not?
wouldn't call it now. I wouldn't call it a
No.
AAA game now.
That's
They
right.
just put a lot more into
To me,
it now.
but that's not an insult to me. That's an insult to some people. That's
No, yeah, I don't think. Yeah, people think, oh, it's like
that's
how
not
people
AAA. I'm not
use-
buying that crap.
Yeah, that's
For
that's
me,
the
it's
problem.
easy with Minecraft. There has been people can say what they want. It has a style, but there has been no effort put in the visuals of the game, for example.
Well, I think there's effort. It's just
They've
like
come a long way visually.
it's a
Yeah.
stylized effort. You know?
All right, so what do you guys think? You know, if that guy's trying to throw out an insult, to me, it backfired because, like I said, how
Well,
much
it only
less they
backfired if you
spend.
perceive it that way. Most people aren't going to. When most
Yeah,
people hear
I
that it's
agree.
not AAA, people are going to perceive it as an insult.
Yeah, it just has that negative connotation.
Yeah, I know that's
So
how
even
people
even if
perceive
he's
it.
not
Which
even
is
if he's not even if he's not technically right, the majority believe that to be an insult. Therefore,
Well-
they're going to show it as an. They're going to view
So
it as
he-
an insult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So he makes quote unquote AAA games that nobody cares about.
I mean,
Meanwhile,
yeah, did
not
Titan?
AAA.
I love Titanfall 2, but did that game not lose
It's
money?
at-
So like,
Right.
Remember, this was made before. I'm guessing Titanfall 2 was out.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. That's right.
Titanfall
Fair.
2 sold, as according to VG charts, is just at 2 million all combined. But
Yeah.
the point I was making, not how it was perceived as an insult, but if Nintendo's not making AAA games, but yet they have a game in Mario Kart 8 that looked as good as what you
Anything.
you could think it could be on
Gorgeous.
PS4, selling 8 million copies,
But
then in my opinion, his diss of Nintendo actually backfired.
It backfired.
because
You're right.
with a lot less money, look what they do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's how
And
I
how
look
much
at
more
it.
But it
money
only
they took home.
backfired. The
They
reason,
stink you away.
the reason why I bring up the perception point is because, like, it backfiring on him only doesn't really mean anything unless like you agree with that statement. Like, because
Yeah, I'm
most
saying
people.
to me it backfired, not
Oh,
like
okay,
oh my
okay.
God.
I think to the people he
Okay.
was talking to, they, if they thought 2 feet in front of themselves, they realized that did backfire on him because it, like we just said, you spend all this money and all these, got 500 people developing the game, and it doesn't help you as far as the appeal. And you have Nintendo over here who are making games for a fraction of the cost, and the quality is still through the roof. And they, the games sell crazy. Then you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry.
Could be
So,
a hint of jealousy in that statement.
right?
I mean,
Which happens with Nintendo a lot because of their
Yeah,
longevity.
man.
I don't wish us ill will because from everything I've heard, Titanfall 2 is a great step
Yeah, I'm not.
up.
Yeah, I'm not. This has had nothing to do with the game
But-
itself. Yeah,
I kind of think Respawn is going to be disbanded. They might give them a third game. I don't know. They might already be working on it, but
Or a new IP game or something.
I don't think their future's very bright. So to me, like,
Well, no, but aren't they working on that new Star Wars game also? There's Respawn in.
Oh, that's
Are
true.
they?
You know what? Yeah, that's right. That is a
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
That is
well,
a good
good
point.
thing
maybe their
you're not
Titanfall, their Titanfall IP, I think, is going to go to the wayside.
yeah.
Whether they
Then
get
you're not a
disbanded.
Microsoft or a Sony studio because you'd be gone already.
Yeah, that's true. It's EA. So I just think it was obviously they were drinking and this, whatever. But it is kind of a sign of how other non-Nintendo, fans and third party, because we've heard Ubisoft employees saying shit about the Wii U over the years, and EA's had retract statements and stuff like that. It just makes you wonder what's at the core for these people to say these stupid things. And I mean, with a lot of things, I think it's probably just they're the competition, so maybe that's kind of just ingrained in them not to say anything good unless you're Phil Spencer or what's the guy head of Sony who was at the Switch event.
Shuhei Yoshida.
Yeah. I mean, just for some people, and I don't know where Respawn. I don't know where they're out of. If they're in the U.S. or wherever.
Oh, Canada or something, right? Or
Oh,
is it
Canada?
France? Oh, Canada, just like the song.
Well, the type of people they cater to have these same thoughts, so they have to kind of be in that same mindset
Yeah, it's almost
too.
like when he said it, he's speaking to people who he knows or would
Yeah.
agree with him or
Right.
whatever.
I'm sure like the Nintendo haters would eat that up without thinking about it. But then
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's like, why did Splatoon outsell Titanfall almost 3-1. If they haven't made a AAA game, it's just
Because
crazy.
you Nintendo bitches will buy anything. Nintendo shit's out.
It's just, to me, it was just like, it's just another one of those examples of it. Just, I don't know, the whole double standard thing is just so
I'm so
apparent
over
right
it,
now.
man. I'm just over it.
It's just crazy to me. And then to hear this, I mean, hopefully it's not a sign of more third party nonsense to be coming, just like we got with the Wii U. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. We'll save like the Fire Emblem Direct and stuff for next week and see what other news comes out. And we'll do our final thoughts and get out of here. So let's start with Terrell, man.
Good podcast, more Switch talk. We can't be trusted to do a podcast under 2 hours. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry, people.
Nope.
Fun game. We need to do that again.
That was so much fun. Yeah.
You should listen to Robert.
I guess the last thing is we didn't really do what we've been playing on. I bought Dragon Quest VIII recently. First Dragon Quest game. That is a very interesting RPG so far, and that will keep me occupied until Switchmas. So
you're liking it? You're enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's just it's different. I gotta remember it's a PlayStation. It's a remake of a
Initially
PlayStation game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I gotta
1 or 2.
I think it's PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2 right?
Yeah,
Both
PlayStation
Dragon Quest
2.
7 and 8 I think were both 2.
Yeah, they're
7 and 8 were
PlayStation 2. Yeah, there were 2. The only thing that sucks is that there are certain things that aren't in there. Like the game doesn't tell you about elemental weaknesses, and it doesn't give you the HP of the monsters. So it's like, but it's nothing really too major. I'm having fun with it so far. I'm about like 10 hours in. Other than that, good podcast, and can't wait until next week.
And what's the name of that Japanese developer who wants to make a Switch game? Sunra.
You talking about Siren Kagura's developer?
Siren Kagura, yeah. And just wanted to touch upon his.
I bet you do.
His excitement about the
Jesus
Rumble.
Softness.
And I know Terrell, that must have been music to your ears. You'll be importing the non-censored version from Japan for the Switch with that soft touch HD Rumble.
Oh jeez.
These people were grilling me in the chat about this shit when that thing came out too. They were like, "Terrell must be excited." I'm like,
I instantly thought of you, dude, when I saw. I
don't even know what that would feel like, and I think I would die if that actually came.
That'd be nice.
That'll get censored from the US version. So
you can't censor Rumble, man. You can't censor Rumble.
I don't know. Can you actually?
For anyone that doesn't know, like he said that the HD Rumble is something he wants to work with, so you can feel the softness.
Yeah, and considering you don't know, Siren Kagura is a franchise that's known for it's like a mindless beat 'em up and boobs.
It's just fan service. So
fan service city, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and if anyone else has any games they played or something they want to talk about, this final thoughts maybe will be the place we'll do it from now on. So Robert, final thoughts.
Well, since we're winding down to the Switch, tomorrow Resident Evil 7 comes out. I'll be playing that for sure. And I'm excited for that one because it reminds me of, like PT and stuff, and I really enjoyed PT. And I've never played a Resident Evil game. I know it's something like
this is not the one to start on, but
that's not true.
No.
I played Resident Evil Revelations, I think, but not a lot of it. Just again, I was never interested as this one. This one I'm really interested in because of what it is, But, that's why. If it was like a normal Resident Evil sort of thing, I probably wouldn't be getting it. But because it is like PT and stuff, I will be getting it.
I'm curious to hear, because there's been absolutely zero early hands-on, which is, I don't know.
Yeah,
if
reviews just came out.
The reviews are out now.
The reviews just hit, but I'm just saying, like,
they're pretty positive overall.
I'm not saying it was gonna be bad. I'm just saying, like, there was no like, hey, this YouTuber got it early. Like, you'll see, like, Rogue.
Yeah, you're
that's
right.
True, that's
Yeah.
true. Well, they are now. They got some now.
So I was a little like, that's curious, but if but what I've seen,
the game was releasing so early.
Yeah, it releases tomorrow. What I've seen of some of the extended stuff, I mean, it looks pretty cool. No, I mean, the demo didn't even touch on what I see in the trailers,
which is so exciting. That's what they needed to do, man.
So
yeah.
So hopefully it's good. And if I hear good things, maybe I'll give it a try. So
Yeah.
let's go. Speaking of Resident Evil, let's go to Rob.
Yeah, Resident Evil. You knew I was gonna go there. So obviously we're all excited for the Switch, but I've been keeping my geeking out to a minimum because I am geeking out over Resident Evil 7. I am so freaking excited. I'm gonna come home from work tomorrow, and that will be here. So I believe in this game, and I was so excited to see the positive reviews come out today. And like you said, Juice, like they seem to have really done their job to keep a lot of this game secret. And I hope that means that it's a fully featured, fully fleshed out game, because you always knew what my worry is that this was like a 6-hour half-assed VR kind of experience, and like that should not be a Resident Evil game. So I'm excited for that, man. And other than that, it was a great podcast. Still love talking about the Switch. The game was a hell of a lot of fun, and it was nice to bring back the game time because I think that everyone seems to get a good kick out of that. And yeah, everyone go check out my video about the 5 best things about the Switch, since I spoiled number 1 for you in this podcast. So that's about it.
All right, Retro Death, what's your final thoughts?
Well, I first want to say, like what Rob said, that the game is something I always look forward to somehow. So I'm always sad when there's no game somehow in a week. Just to finish up with that, I guess, because we were talking about games, I finally finished Borderlands 2 yesterday. It took me about 100 hours, and I wanted to mention that because it took me 100 hours to finish the main quest, because I always get sidetracked. And I just want to bring that up because I want Zelda to do that for me, Breath of the Wild. I want to be able to waste 100 hours in my life without looking at the main quest somehow. Apart from that,
You will.
yeah, I hope so. Apart from that, yeah, it's been a great podcast. It's like the Juices Loose always is like watching your favorite TV show and then trying to decide who your favorite character is, and you just can't, you know.
They need to make action figures out of us.
And it's just been great to finally be able to actually interrupt you guys in real life for once. So I just want to say, like, don't change and stay real.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no, you will have to tell us who your favorite is, though. So
Yes.
it better be me. So
It's gonna be the one who already has an action figure of
I'm about
themselves.
saying this
Yeah.
is
Or it
big.
could
I think
be-
he subbed to me before all you.
yeah.
I wanted to say that Mr. T is how I found all of you. So
Thank
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Where is the love?
Well, Mr. T does, and Rob do talk the most. So
Yep.
I'm about to
that's
say
what we're here for.
their faces are on all the thumbs.
Because we actually have something to say. But dude,
Man, this man.
all
Giving
right,
out
Well, you don't know when to shut up.
T, what's your final thoughts? man?
God damn it.
well, it's gonna be long since I can't shut the hell up. Nah, great podcast as always, guys. Always
Good to have
love
you back.
jostling it up with you folks. Great to have Retro Death on. As he said, I brought him to you, so give me my respect.
Oh, put some respect on my name.
And no, great, like I said, great class. My channel is gonna be dropping a few vids, so because obviously I've been away and I haven't been able to do my own solo vids about the Switch, so you will be getting that starting tonight, and then subsequently throughout the week. So maybe a video. I'm shooting for a video a day. I don't know if I can do that, time permitting, but
When
I'm
we
gonna.
getting the new surprise.
The new-
format?
Yeah, I've been
I'm
wondering.
not gonna
that.
say very soon. So let's roll
Nice.
with that. And big things coming, big things. So
that what you tell
turn
your
up some old style Mr. T with
T.
some newness, so new
that
hotness. So
Is that what you say to your wife? Big things coming.
I don't gotta say that because she already know. But anyway,
I'm about to say,
He's
he
like, I know
already
what's
got
coming.
kids. It's like he got 2
I
kids.
When you
Take
first
care of
met her. Anyway.
Man, he's such a deviant.
and of course, play Nintendo foods.
All right, and yeah, I'm gonna do my final thoughts with some game stuff. I mentioned on Leveled Heads podcast that I finished Ratchet and Clank. I forced myself through it, and
Damn.
it's one of the most boring games I've played since I think,
Damn.
I think Sonic Lost Worlds was the
Hey,
last
what
game.
the fuck?
Oh, Sonic was great game.
That was-
Big juice.
Post
Or,
Sonic,
I guess-
you can't catch a break.
And it was just like it's just so slow. You move so slow. It's so hard to dodge. It's
Too
just so
bad.
frustrating. And then the dialogue. I actually was listening to a podcast while I finished the last 2 hours. I didn't even have the game up loud enough to hear what was going on because I didn't even care. I want to beat this before I get Gravity Rush 2. And I forced myself to. I mean, it was okay, I guess, for $20. I'm not mad. I just wish I bought it physical so I could have traded that trash in, but It's stuck. I bought it digital. I'm stuck with it.
You can't gift it.
I mean, I could, but I don't know if I'm.
I want that kind
I'll
of
play
gift.
Or isn't there some way? Oh, you
There's
gotta
a
be on
share
PSN
play?
though. You gotta be on PSN.
I want to try the share play feature, and wirelessly, I don't have a strong enough signal, so I don't know if that works without PS Plus. But anyway,
Yeah, I think it
I finished that, and I'll probably never play it again. And then I got Gravity Rush 2 on Friday last week, and that's my new favorite PlayStation 4 game. The
I'm about to say he's
game's
been sending all
amazing.
the pictures.
I know, right?
I only sent them to one person, and I'm sending them out for your benefit, not mine.
Oh, okay, sure. Because you weren't talking about how you love the photography mode and shit.
Dude, I love taking photos, and it's
I know you do. I saw it.
Anyone who on Twitter and stuff, I posted some shots. It's got a really cool. You can do like a classic, like what do you call that? Old like washed out photo.
Like the filter, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just really cool. And it's like, but anyway, it's a great game. It's so much better than the first game. But I feel if you didn't play the first game, you're going to be kind of lost because it doesn't have you doing a lot of combat so far. But because I'm, really good at the combat from playing the first game, which isn't the most exciting game to start, but I think if someone stuck with it, it ends up pretty good. But it's just like, it's crazy because the first one's a remake or remastered from a Vita game, and it supposedly runs at 60 frames per second. And the new one supposedly runs at 30, but the character moves twice as fast and fluid. It's just crazy. It's got me rethinking my stance on FPS for certain types of games because the character moves so much faster and smoother in the new one at supposed 30 frames per second. So it's just a beautiful game. I think it's the best looking game on PS4 right now. Wow. The area to explore is huge. There's a lot of freedom. The side quests they're Japanese. They're a little weird, but there's one where you gotta sneak around and take a photo of people doing a deal for like a newspaper, just random stuff like that. But it's an interesting story and just looks amazing, plays amazing, great music, and uses that gyro. I got to support a game that uses gyro on PlayStation. So I'm really loving it.
I didn't know those exist, man.
Man, this is a Nintendo podcast. It's too much.
And the reason I send those pictures to Terrell is because I'm trying to talk him into getting that PS4 sooner than later.
He is really, it's pissing me off because I
take the plunge.
You know what makes it worse? It's in my cart. It's in my Amazon cart.
Ooh, one button.
Let me just say this.
Is it $300?
No, it's not $300.
I'll just say this: the main character, Cat, in the first game, that there's like 4 costumes, and because of the graphical limitations of a Vita port, I was like, I don't really get it. I don't really care for the cat suit or this. But in the new game, I'll just say that cat suit, yeah, it worked. If this was Robert, I'd say she looks good.
No, you gotta make all the weird noises like ugh.
Let's just say probably Lara Croft, I guess, but definitely since Bayonetta 2, a protagonist hasn't looked as good in
what about Elmo?
Outfit. I mean, I didn't have the
Elmo has
fidelity.
Or what about Hayden Panettiere from Until Dawn?
Well, that was more you.
That just looks weird to me. But anyway, it's a great game.
Yeah, the real life Hayden is something, but the video game one,
Damn it.
I'm just I'm glad about the PS4. I got
it's good to hear.
2 games that I really like, one that I liked, and then one I didn't like, but it's already justified for me just having a couple games that I really enjoy, and I'm looking forward to if Resident Evil is great, I could pick that up, and hopefully Horizon's. I mean, the story trailers look really boring and terrible, but the gameplay trailers look very interesting.
That's like the first negative thing I heard you say about that game, actually.
Yeah, the story trailers do nothing to me. Like, it's uncanny valley. They're trying too hard to make the main character look. She's in between looking like a good art direction and trying to look real, and it's a little weird. But the gameplay of that I've seen looks fun. So hopefully the game turns out. Sucks it's coming out 3 days before the Switch, but then the final thing I'm gonna say is Nintendo, I know you're listening because you listened before. Put that Legend of Zelda final trailer in before major movies before that game
for
comes
sure.
out.
Oh my gosh.
100%.
I mean, I don't care if you don't even play video games. You might not have played a Zelda game in your life. Just the way that music builds, I mean, it's the best game trailer for sure. It's one of the best trailers I've ever seen.
I tell you what, I showed my grandparents, and they don't play any games. They're like, hello, hey, and so all of a sudden I show them both one at a time, and I had the music blasting, right, and then both of them were like, oh my god, that was amazing. It's like, when can I watch it? I'm like, no, it's a video game.
Because think of it as an animated movie. For some people, it plays like a great movie trailer. And
it's incredible.
I was gonna tweet out to, is it Grace? What's her last name? The girl from Beyond the Trailer. She does a lot of reactions to trailers. She's a huge comic book fan, and she did the Injustice 2 new trailer reaction. I was gonna see if she would do one for that. I just never got around to it, but they need to put that in. I don't know what the next big movie before March 3rd, but they got to put that in.
God, March 3rd is also the day
March 3rd is Logan
day?
comes out. Logan comes out.
But
that'd be awesome.
Just put. I mean, that's such a good trailer that deserves to be in a movie theater.
It's glorious.
I agree.
I wish I could download that in full quality and get the full sound and everything and play that in my theater room.
Yeah, when's the Blu-ray coming out?
Yeah,
to me, that should totally, honestly, and it's kind of the first trailer I ever thought that this should be there should be trailers before movies that aren't just movies. It could be.
There's video. I've seen video game stuff.
No, but I mean
TV ads.
That's you get the little ads, but I mean when they say now our feature presentation begins, and they show the trailers. One of the trailers should be the Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild trailer, and I would not mind.
People would be thinking it's a movie.
You're expecting it to come out as a movie. I don't know.
You'd have to
it's a $300 movie.
Coming to video game
$360 movie.
Yeah.
Specify, hey, this is coming to the Nintendo Switch game console, and then have the trailer play
and then a tiny little Wii U logo in the bottom corner.
Yeah. So tiny you can't even see it.
I try not to watch it over and over. It's still
called the Boo-hoo.
Dude, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Even Terrell in his live reaction, I watched the one with the audio wasn't synced. I haven't watched the uploaded.
Yeah, I found out I actually have
and you're just like, wow. You're like, this is a good trailer.
You follow Zeltic too, right?
I wasn't prepared for it. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't see Zeltic's reaction.
I think he cracked the story. I think he got it right. And I wish I hadn't watched that damn video now because it was so good. It was so good, though. He did a video basically breaking down what he thought the story was.
I don't want to.
Man.
That's another thing. Mike he's been on the podcast recently. He's linking me all these leaks of this new information. I'm like, I'm not clicking on nothing. I'm not watching any theory.
Oh yeah, the guidebook that
I heard.
Down.
Yeah, I skipped on that.
I saw some number. I was like, nope, looked away, and I'm like, I don't want to know a thing. I don't want to hear any more theories. I didn't watch Game Explains 2 hour.
Well, I just heard how much stuff is there in the side quest.
I don't want incredible. I don't want. Yeah,
it's incredible.
Well, Game Explains 2 hour analysis doesn't really mess with the story.
I know. I don't even want to know that much about the game. I just want to experience it. So I'm not watching. I don't care if they release another trailer. I'm not watching it. I'm playing the game. The next time I see Breath of the Wild is gonna be on my TV. Period.
Oh man.
Or in your hands.
It's gonna be in my hands, cuz.
It's gonna be in my big hands.
On his face.
All right, let's get out of here. This final thoughts took 20 minutes.
It's its own podcast.
Grandpa Juice had to turn in early. So
thanks to everybody for tuning in.
All you Joy-Con boys out there.
Yeah, we had some big name YouTubers in the comments or in the live chat, so it was cool. And next week I don't know what we're going to talk about. Maybe there'll be some new stuff, but
maybe we'll play 40 questions.
We could, and I might have there might be a special guest on next week, so look out for that. And until then, we'll see you next time.